God King of all realms, starting by summoning an angel. Greetings, fellow multiversal adventurers. It's an honor to have you back in this saga that has us all hooked. Official channel statement: this story is 100% epic fiction. So please don't attempt real magic, the results aren't guaranteed and insurance won't cover it. The rights to this masterpiece belong entirely to its brilliant original author. We are just a bards sharing it with you. Do you want to keep being part of this amazing community? Join our ninja army of subscribers on YouTube and give this content a like. And for true fans, our Patreon has exclusive ninjutsu waiting for you. Chapter 26. The closer it gets to the deadline, the more intense the bidding for snake armor becomes. Every leader who participates in the bidding is determined to win the snake armor, because the gold coins in their hands are all borrowed. After all, even Lin Yu, who has super top-level soldiers, has only exploded less than 400 gold coins from yesterday to now, let alone others. There are no gold coins, so they can only borrow. And the borrowed gold coins must be returned. Regardless of whether they have won the snake armor or not, they have to return it, and they have to add the promised interest. Otherwise, their position as leader will basically end. If they can win the snake armor in this auction, they will definitely make money. Because the snake armor is extremely valuable, a week or two later, such a level 7 top-grade equipment can even be sold for thousands of gold coins. Buying it is a big profit. If you can't buy it, not only do you have to pay back the money, but you also have to add interest. They will naturally fight desperately for it. It seems that there are only a few minutes left, but for the alliance leaders participating in the auction, it feels like a year. The fierce competition has brought a high price beyond their imagination. In the last 10 seconds, the auction price of snake armor has even reached nearly 1,700 gold coins, which makes almost all the professionals who pay attention to the auction gasp. Especially those lord professionals, including but not limited to the golden behemoth lord. Envy makes eyes red. With nearly 1,700 gold coins, how many types of soldiers do you have to recruit? However, this is not over yet. In the last 2 seconds before the auction ended, the price actually climbed to 1,800 gold coins. The price increase exceeded 100 gold coins. Obviously, this bidder tried to make the final decision and leave no chance for others. In the end, the bid price of 1,800 gold coins did allow this bidder to successfully obtain the snake armor, which was a happy ending for everyone. He was happy, and Lin Yu was also happy. The only unhappy ones were probably the other leaders who participated in the auction. Damn it, one leader said angrily. In order to bid for the snake armor, I borrowed a total of 1,500 gold coins from the alliance members, but I still failed. I am so impressed by this old man. Another leader cursed. I borrowed a total of 2,000 gold coins from the alliance members 3 times in a row. I was sure to win, but at the end, an old man showed up. Before the auction ended, his bid was 1,680 gold coins. It was also the highest price at that time. He was ready to take the snake armor. But he didn't expect that in the last 2 seconds, someone directly bid 1,800 gold coins. This was obviously an attempt to steal the crystal violently. When he saw this price, he immediately wanted to offer a higher price, but he was still a step slower. Because the auction ended before he finished bidding. He was very angry about this. If he had been given enough time, the snake armor would definitely be his. After all, he had 2,000 gold coins in his hand. Because of a momentary negligence, he was taken away by Lao Liu in a wave of stealing towers, and it was too late to regret. When he thought that the snake armor had fallen into the hands of others, the leader was so angry that he beat his chest and stamped his feet, shouting, "If I had known that there was Lao Liu, I shouldn't have been stingy and directly bid 2,000 gold coins. Who can still compete with me?" He deeply felt the pain of losing Jing Xiao to carelessness. The auction was very successful. At least Lin Yu thought so. Because he was very satisfied with the final transaction price. The transaction price of up to 1,800 gold coins was indeed beyond his expectations. He originally thought that it would be good if the snake armor could be auctioned for about 1,000. He never thought that there were so many rich people. At the same time, it also shows that he underestimated the money-making ability of some leaders. Personal connections are also an important resource. Those alliance leaders can easily get so many gold coins, whether by borrowing or cheating, because they have a lot of personal connections in their hands. If you are short of gold coins, just borrow from alliance members directly. Anyway, they won't pay it back now. At most, they will just throw out a promise. However, after having a large amount of gold coins, the development speed of those alliance leaders will skyrocket, and then they will get huge benefits. Borrowing other people's chickens to lay your own eggs. This is a calculation. The sound can be heard on Blue Star. But I don't need to do this. Even if I establish an alliance, I don't need to borrow gold coins from alliance members. When I deal with the goblin tribe and get the blacksmith over, I can start making equipment in batches and sell it on the platform. Isn't the speed at which equipment merchants make money faster and more sustainable than borrowing? Lin Yu shook his head and didn't think about it anymore. The information prompt from the floating island appeared in his mind. Congratulations, Lord, the equipment snake armor you put on the trading platform has been successfully sold. The 1,800 gold coins obtained from the auction are deposited in your territory warehouse at the same time. Please check, the 1G floating island is a real world. There is no so-called transaction fee, and there is no middleman to make a profit from the price difference. You can get as much as you sell. Lin Yu opened the warehouse information and took a look at the gold coin reserve 1,803. The fraction is the previous reserve, which is not enough to summon angels, so it is saved. 1,800 gold coins can summon 36 double-winged angels. Thinking of this, Lin Yu couldn't help but breathe faster and was excited. He entered the Lord's Hall without hesitation. He communicated with the floating island and opened the black hole for summoning angels. I don't know if it was my illusion or because it was the first time to summon so many angels, which made Lin Yu suddenly have a strange feeling when he saw the black hole. I always feel that the black hole in front of me is a little different. Before Lin Yu thought about it, a series of graceful figures flew out of the black hole. The standard angel armor, holding the angel sword burning with flames, with a pair of snow-white angel wings behind them, and the body exudes a holy glow. At a glance, they are all stunning. 36 beautiful double-winged angels. Not one more, not one less. Greetings, Lord, may the Lord be eternal and the holy light always be there. The angels gathered in the Lord's hall and saluted Lin Yu respectfully. Every pair of golden pupils showed respect and enthusiasm for Lin Yu. This is a shocking picture. Those who have not experienced it personally cannot understand Lin Yu's current feelings. Moreover, no words can describe his mood at the moment. It was not until a long time later that Lin Yu regained his inner peace and said to the dozens of beautiful angels gathered in front of him, "The holy light and faith will be guarded by you. I also look forward to seeing the day when the angels will be revived in this world. Praise you, the Supreme Lord of Holy Light. We will follow your footsteps to the death and spread the holy light to the world." The angels bowed down in front of Lin Yu even more excitedly. Lin Yu could clearly sense that a large amount of faith power emerged from each angel, and finally gathered in his body. The power of faith from the angels far exceeds that of the goblin believers. Because angels are born as the highest level of Holy Spirit believers. This is why the goblin believers call angels holy envoys. The title of holy envoy is only available to believers at the Holy Spirit level. Go. Lin Yu nodded slightly and said to the winged angels, "Go to the wild to meet up with the angel team. Yida will tell you about this world." "Yes, Lord." The angels respectfully withdrew from the Lord's hall. Then they flapped their snow-white angel wings, flew up to the sky in unison, and disappeared in the distance like stars. Chapter 27. The battle was over, and the battle was over. Summon 36 angels at once, including the angel squad. I have 45 double-winged angels under my command. For a moment, Lin Yu couldn't help but feel proud. The hunting team composed of 45 super top arms is definitely the strongest in the entire floating island. It is impossible for any lord to have such a strong army. Lin Yu is very confident about this. But don't be arrogant, being stronger than the professionals is useless. What's most important is to surpass the local forces on the island. After all, the local forces are the biggest obstacle to preventing professionals from taking over the island. Lin Yu is also sober and has not been blinded by the temporary expansion of strength. He is very clear about his current position. Although he is stronger than other professionals, his current strength is still nothing compared to the local forces on the island. At most, he can only deal with small forces like the Goblin tribe. But if he goes to war with the two-headed demon tribe, which has a king-level strong man, then he will be the only one who loses. Don't worry, if I continue to develop at this speed, I will soon have the power to kill the two-headed demon tribe. Then, I will start to attack this entire jungle. Lin Yu is still very satisfied with his current development speed. Although the level of the territory is forcibly restricted due to the problem of the blueprint, at least the scale of his exclusive arms has expanded. Exclusive arms are the core of the territory. Being able to increase very quickly is also a happy thing. In the next period of time, while checking the chat channel on the island, Lin Yu collects more information about this floating island and other professionals. At the same time, he opens the trading platform on the island and puts beast meat on the shelves. His goblin followers were decomposing the monster corpses early in the morning, and the goblin followers who went out with the angel team brought back the monster corpses they hunted continuously. The work of decomposing the monster corpses has been ongoing. Every once in a while, the amount of meat stored in the warehouse will increase. Lin Yu's way of dealing with these meats is to keep the necessary rations, and put all the other meats on the island trading platform, to exchange for wood, stone, and iron ore. These three basic resources are very useful. Whether it is upgrading the territory or building territory buildings, they are needed. There are only benefits and no harm in storing more. In order to avoid insufficient reserves when you really need them, you have to find a way to exchange them temporarily, which is too troublesome. In addition to putting meat beasts on the shelves, Lin Yu also searched for what he needed on the island trading platform, such as fence blueprints, spirit rice seeds, etc. Unfortunately, until the afternoon, Lin Yu was unable to pick up the leak. As professionals on the island embark on the hunting track, the number of blueprints, equipment, and spiritual rice seeds appearing on the trading platform is also increasing. But this does not mean that the price has dropped. To obtain these things, you still need to pay a lot of gold coins. This is determined by market demand. In addition, the explosion rate of monsters on the floating island is very low, so it would be strange if the price can be reduced. Things are rare and valuable. Professionals who are lucky enough to explode these items are not willing to lower the price to sell them. Even if they can't sell them, they are not in a hurry, especially blueprints and spiritual rice seeds, which can be said to be rare goods, but equipment transactions happen from time to time. At this stage, the equipment that exploded is basically low-level equipment, which is only better than the initial equipment given by the floating island, so the price is naturally not much higher. Professionals with some capital will rush to buy them. Compared with the high price of blueprints, equipment seems to be in short supply. Soon, we will attack the goblin tribe tomorrow morning. With a blacksmith, I can make equipment in batches and make a fortune on the trading platform. Another batch of hundreds of units of beast meat was put on the trading platform. Lin Yu suddenly felt a little bored. From the time he descended to the present, he has been staying in the territory and has never walked out. It's not that he doesn't want to, but the wild is too dangerous. The angel team hunted from morning to afternoon, and during this period, a full 36 double-winged angels joined, and the hunting speed suddenly increased several times. Roughly estimated, the angel squad has killed more than 1,000 wild monsters of different levels. However, Lin Yu's level is still at level 2. It's probably in the middle of level 2. There is still a gap before he can be promoted to level 3 professional. However, even if his level reaches level 3, it is easy to encounter danger in the wild world. At this stage, only the territory is the safest. As a lord, the main job is to sit in the rear and make plans. This requires patience. At the same time, this is also a training for the lord's temperament. Lin Yu comforted himself in this way. Of course, if there is a mobile phone or a computer now, it would be the best. Unfortunately, the rules of the floating island do not allow technological products to appear on the island. Therefore, the professionals of Blue Star have no way to bring technological products such as mobile phones, computers, or even hot weapons to the island. That's normal. Let's not talk about mobile phones and computers. If someone brings in a few pieces of equipment that emit blue fire, they will definitely be able to slaughter the low-level monsters on the island. This is no different from cheating, and if they bring in big mushrooms, it will be even more terrifying. Lin Yu felt creepy just thinking about it. Once the big mushrooms appear, it will surely destroy the world. Not to mention the king-level powerhouses, even the local powerhouses of the extraordinary level will die. Perhaps, only the saint-level powerhouses who master the field, or even the demigods, can withstand the terrifying destructive power of the big mushrooms. When bored, Lin Yu walked out of the Lord's Hall and waved to a goblin believer not far away. Receiving the call of the Lord of Holy Light, the goblin believer was immediately excited, put down his work and ran over happily. "Great God, what do you want me to do? Don't be nervous, I just want to chat with you," Lin Yu smiled softly at the goblin believer in front of him, who was only 1.23 meters tall. When he first saw the goblin, he felt that the goblin was unpleasant no matter from which angle he looked at it. Because the goblin was really too ugly. But now, he inexplicably felt that the goblin was a little cute. The ugly appearance could not cover up the goblin's fanatical loyalty to him, which was an important factor in changing Lin Yu's impression of the goblin clan. After hearing Lin Yu's words, the goblin believer was suddenly at a loss. He had no idea how to chat with a great lord of holy light. So in the end, he answered whatever Lin Yu asked. "What's your name?" "My name is Zygo, sir." "How many people are there in your family?" "Ah, my sir, there is no one in my family. From birth to now, I have never seen anyone, because there are few humans in this jungle." "Change the question." "Zygo, do you have a dream?" "Yes, my sir, I have a dream. In the past, my dream was to become a powerful goblin leader and fight for the glory of the tribe. But now, my dream is to follow my sir forever." "This is a very great dream." After one question and one answer, time quickly came to the evening. From the goblin's Zygo, Lin Yu also learned a lot of information about this jungle. This jungle is called Dark Forest. It is ruled by 4 super powerful forces. They are the Giant Kingdom, the Bone Temple, the Naga Kingdom, and the Elf Garden. According to the vivid description of the goblin Zygo, Lin Yu discovered that compared with these 4 superpowers, the 2-headed demon tribe that he had always been wary of was actually just a small karami. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 28. The area of the Dark Forest is very large. It stretches for tens of thousands of miles. In this vast forest, there are countless wild monsters, and there are also many strongholds built by local intelligent creatures. These stronghold forces are scattered throughout the Dark Forest. The Goblin tribe, the 2-headed demon tribe, and the Grey Dwarf tribe that was caught in the crossfire are only a small part of them. These tribes seem to rule in an area and have their own territory, but looking at the entire Dark Forest, their power is nothing at all. Especially compared to the 4 superpowers, it can be said that they are so weak that they can't stand a single blow. That is, in front of the professionals who have just arrived, they can be called powerful. According to the vague narration of the goblin Zygo, Lin Yu roughly learned that the 4 superpowers were stationed in the 4 directions of the Dark Forest. The Giant Kingdom guarded the western area. The Bone Temple guarded the southern area. The Elf Garden guarded the eastern area. The Naga Kingdom guarded the southern area. These 4 forces jointly blocked the entire Dark Forest, making it impossible for external forces to get in, and internal forces could not extend out. Of course, this is from the narration of a small goblin. Whether this is true or not, or whether there is other more accurate information, can only be confirmed by Lin Yu himself. Legend has it that there are immortal gods among the 4 major forces. This sentence was said by the goblin Zygo in a state of extreme fear. Whether it is true or not, it is unknown. But Lin Yu thinks that this is probably just a legend and does not exist in reality. Because on the professional forum of Blue Star, the first batch of professionals who descended on other floating islands broke the news that the highest local combat power of the floating island is the peak demigod. Only after leaving the floating island and entering the stage of the 10,000 worlds can you possibly meet the immortal true god. Compared to the little goblin warrior who is only level 3 in front of him, Lin Yu is more willing to believe the information revealed by the veteran professionals. My territory is located in the west of the Dark Forest. The supreme ruler of this area is the Giant Kingdom. This is very important information. If nothing unexpected happens, if Lin Yu wants to conquer the Dark Forest in the future, the first thing he has to kill is the Giant Kingdom. After all, it is so close. When Lin Yu's territory develops to the extent that it can threaten the Giant Kingdom, even if he does not take the initiative to declare war, the Giant Kingdom will send a large army to attack his territory. There is no room for 2 tigers in one mountain. There is no room for 2 powerful forces in one area. However, this is a matter for the future, so there is no need to consider it now. Lin Yu did not think about it anymore. Instead of worrying about the threat from the Giant Kingdom, he might as well think about the plan to kill the 2-headed demon tribe. With Lin Yu's territory as the center, there are 3 local forces in the forests within a radius of dozens of kilometers. They are the Goblin tribe, the Grey Dwarf tribe, and the two-headed demon tribe. The strength of the first two tribes is comparable, and the clan leaders are all level 9 professionals. The two-headed demon tribe is the strongest, and the clan leader is a king-level strong man. If the two-headed demon tribe can be killed, the jungle and mountains within a radius of dozens of kilometers will basically fall into Lin Yu's hands, and he can do whatever he wants. While thinking, Lin Yu also had a preliminary plan in his mind. The night of the floating island came very quickly. The afterglow of the sun has not completely disappeared, and the sky has darkened at a speed visible to the naked eye. In less than half an hour, it was pitch dark outside the territory. In this environment, the vision of professionals will be greatly limited, which is not conducive to hunting. On the contrary, wild monsters are less affected and will become extremely active. If the professionals don't find a safe place as soon as possible, they are likely to be attacked by wild monsters. In such a dark world, you won't know how you died. Fortunately, the newcomers on the island remembered the lesson of last night. Before the night fell completely, they quickly entered the hiding place. Of course, these are all poor combat professionals. As for the Lord professionals, they have their own territory for protection, so they don't have to worry about being attacked by wild monsters, let alone wasting time looking for shelter. And every time this happens, there will be a lot of voices in the chat channel that envy the Lord professionals. Another night of jealousy for the Lord. I really want to know what the Lord's territory looks like. Is there any kind Lord who would reveal the coordinates so that we, the combat professionals, can go there to visit and learn more? High EQ, visit the territory. Low EQ, loot resources. At this stage, I'm afraid no Lord dares to reveal the coordinates, including top lords like Lin Yu. This is the truth. Before the Lord's army develops, a group of fully armed combat professionals are enough to sweep the Lord's territory. The above don't provoke the relationship between us combat professionals and Lord professionals. As we all know, the Lord's territory is the safest harbor for us combat professionals. Joining the Lord is also what we want to do most. It's true, someone in the professional forum has already revealed similar news. On the floating island numbered 013724, there was a war between the Lord professionals and the combat professionals, and it was not just once. I have also heard that the war caused the death of many combat professionals, and the Lord was killed. Floating island, numbered 013724. This is one of the floating islands where the first batch of summoned humans landed. Different numbers represent different floating islands. No one knows how many floating islands there are in this world. The only thing we know is that becoming the owner of a floating island is the key to opening the door to the 10,000 worlds. Once someone becomes the owner of an island, then a teleportation array leading to the 10,000 worlds will appear on the floating island under his rule. This is the information revealed by the 10,000 worlds floating island. Although no professional has successfully achieved this goal and ascended to the position of island owner so far, this information is absolutely true. If there is a war on our floating island, more professionals will die. This is inevitable, because there are so many people on our island. Let's change to a lighter topic. Okay, today, 3 of my friends' avatars have turned gray. By the way, has anyone's level been upgraded to level 2? As a high-level lord, I think it's very difficult to upgrade in this world. I'm still only in the late stage of level 1 professional, MV. I just reached the middle stage of level 1, now, maybe only the top lords have reached level 2. Regarding the level issue, Master Lin Yu has the absolute right to speak. Why is Lin Yu called the Master? All Lord professionals are masters, and Master Lin Yu is the strongest lord, so he is naturally the master. Then why are we combat professionals? Single nobles who venture into the extraordinary world. What do you want? Combat professionals are just servants and maids serving the lords. I don't want to be a maid. I want to be the wife of Master Lin Boabin Sak. Across the endless dark void, I can smell the stinky feet of the brothers upstairs. Please put on your socks and put away your sweaty feet. Thank you. Get lost. Chapter 29. The sky was full of clouds, and the sky was full of clouds. Soon after the darkness fell, a soft and holy light suddenly appeared outside Lin Yu's territory. Looking up, he saw beautiful figures shrouded in the light. These figures were all wearing silver-white armor, holding long swords burning with golden flames, and a pair of snow-white wings slowly flapping behind them. They were the double-winged angels under his command. There were a total of 45, and all of them returned to the territory. Behind the angel team, there was a series of short figures. If it weren't for the holy light shining on the ground, Lin Yu wouldn't have seen them at all. This is a transport team composed of more than 300 goblins. Every 2 goblins form a group. All of them were carrying the corpse of a wild monster. They also uttered a uniform hey yo sound. The goblin transport team followed the angel team that was emitting holy light all the way and successfully returned to the territory. They immediately appeared in front of Lin Yu and knelt down to worship their god of faith. Get up, Lin Yu smiled faintly. He never thought that in the blink of an eye, the number of goblin believers under his command had reached nearly 400. Among them, there were more than 180 level 3 and 4 goblin warriors. In addition, there were more than a dozen level 5 and 6 goblin warriors. Compared with other lord professionals on the island, his goblin team can be regarded as a strong army. Lin Yu said to the goblin believers, "There's already a pile of dry firewood over there. You can grill your own meat to solve the problem of eating tonight. No goblin may leave the territory without my permission." "Yes, great lord, praise you, kind and loving God." The goblin believers knelt on the ground again, thanking the Lord of Faith for his gift to them with great piety. At this moment, Lin Yu once again felt a large amount of faith power gathering in his body. So far, his body has not changed because of these faith powers. But this is not important. The effect of faith power will be fully reflected when he becomes a god. In Yida's words, now is a matter of accumulating little by little. The more faith power accumulated now, the easier it will be for Lin Yu to become a god on the future. And after becoming a god, the divine power he controls will be stronger. The power of faith is the foundation of faith in gods. Success or failure depends on faith. After the goblin believers withdrew, Lin Yu turned his attention to the angel team. At present, this team is led by Yida and Sally, who were summoned first, and their levels are also the highest among all angels. Not bad, you didn't disappoint me, you both have been promoted to level 7, Lin Yu envied the speed of Yida and Sally's upgrade. When they were summoned yesterday, they were both level 5. After 2 days of hunting, they all entered level 7. Although Lin Yu also upgraded 2 levels, it was a breakthrough from level 0 to level 2. This means that the source power he gained is far less than that of Yida and Sally. Of course, it is mainly because he did not personally participate in the hunting of wild monsters, so he only got a very small part of the source power, so the upgrade speed is naturally not fast. In the afternoon, with the addition of 36 winged angels, the hunting speed of the angel team has skyrocketed. And the original power I obtained has also increased significantly. The more types of soldiers there are, the faster the Lord's level will increase. This is indeed not just a casual remark. Lin Yu's level has now been raised to the late stage of level 2. Just like the situation last night, he is now just a stone's throw away from the level increase. Here, hearing Lin Yu's praise, Yida and Sally were also very excited. Excited expressions appeared on their fair and delicate cheeks. For them, it is their great honor to be praised by Lin Yu. These angels have 2 missions in this world. One mission is to revive the angel clan and plant the battle flags of the Holy Light Camp throughout the universe. The other mission is to serve Lin Yu, the Lord of Holy Light. Naturally, Lin Yu's recognition and praise are of great significance to them. This is also the motivation for their struggle. Yida said quickly, "My lord, the size of the angel squad has increased dramatically. Sally and I are confident that we can conquer the goblin tribe tonight. Conquering the goblin tribe is something that the Lord has planned. The current angel team is fully capable of completing this plan in advance, and there is no need to wait until tomorrow morning to declare war on the goblin tribe." "No hurry," Lin Yu waved his hand and said, "the goblin tribe can't escape, and the attack tomorrow morning is the same. What's more, it is easy to have accidents when marching at night, and even if the goblin tribe is conquered at night, it is difficult to transport the captured resources back, so, let's act according to the original plan. Tomorrow, at the moment when the sun rises, launch an attack on the goblin tribe. In addition to your angel team, the 200 goblin warriors in the territory will also participate in this tribal war. However, their main task is to transport the captured resources, and the main force of the battle is still you." "Yes, Lord." Yida obeyed the order respectfully. She was also anxious to complete Lin Yu's plan. Now, after hearing Lin Yu's analysis, she felt that she was indeed a little impulsive. Marching at night is indeed risky. Even if the angel team is fearless, it is difficult for the goblin team to pass through the dark jungle unscathed and reach the goblin tribe several kilometers away. During this period, there will definitely be goblin believers who will be ambushed and killed by wild monsters. And this kind of sacrifice is obviously meaningless. My lord, this is the hunting harvest this afternoon. Yida did not forget the most important thing and handed the spoils to Lin Yu. There were no blueprints, no equipment, and no spiritual rice seeds in the spoils, only gold coins. However, the number of gold coins made Lin Yu very happy. There were a total of 375 gold coins. The floating island gave professionals the ability to see the number of gold coins at a glance without counting them one by one, just like being able to see the information of blueprints and equipment. Add the remaining 37 gold coins from the previous summoning of angels, I have 412 gold coins. In other words, I can summon 8 more double-winged angels. Lin Yu was very happy and immediately returned to the Lord's Hall and summoned 8 beautiful double-winged angels. So far, the number of double-winged angels under his command has reached 53. This is a very terrifying thing. Once it is spread out, it will surely shock all professionals on the island. The scale of the angel team has expanded again, and you can try hunting at night. Lin Yu said to Yuta and Sally who were following behind him, but remember, you must pay attention to safety. In addition, you must not leave the territory too far, and return immediately if you encounter danger. The territory can protect you. At this stage, there will be no wild monsters invading. The hunting time at night should not be too long. You can control it yourself. Return to the territory to rest when you are tired. Okay, Lord, don't worry, Lord, we will protect ourselves. Yuta and Sally spoke up. Then, at Lin Yu's nod, they led a group of angels who were still full of energy and left the territory and entered the wild world shrouded in darkness. After a while, the battle broke out. Lin Yu, who was in the territory, could see bright sword lights cutting through the night in the darkness. And it was very close to the territory, no more than 200 meters. This made Lin Yu sober instantly. He knew that there were many monsters in the wild at night, but he didn't expect there would be so many. It was terrifying that monsters appeared within 200 meters of his territory. However, this situation has both disadvantages and advantages. The disadvantage is that there are too many monsters to kill. And the advantage is that there are too many monsters to kill. Whether it is a blessing or a curse depends on whether the angel team can withstand the pressure. Chapter 30. The battle outside the territory was very fierce. There were always a lot of sword lights piercing the darkness and illuminating the battlefield. That was the fighting skills from the angels, the glory of the Holy Cross Sword and the Holy Light Slash. In addition to the fighting skills, there were also angels releasing golden flames to burn the battlefield. That was the angel's holy flame, which could purify all the evil forces in the world. Under the illumination of the sword light and the holy flame, Lin Yu also saw the appearance of the monster. One was a skeleton monster made of piled white skeletons. Another monster, with green skin and blood-red eyes, crawled quickly on the ground with its limbs, looking like a hairless jackal, but a closer look showed that it had human characteristics. Different forms, same race. Both monsters are undead creatures. Goblin Lun was right. The wild world at night is dominated by demons and undead. Lin Yu didn't know what the demon looked like, but he saw the undead. And they were densely packed. On the battlefield, there were dense undead creatures, surrounding the angel team like a tide, which made Lin Yu's scalp numb. Too scary. Number has always been the advantage of the undead creatures. At this moment, every angel was forced to face the siege from multiple or even dozens of undead. The only thing to be thankful for is that the strength of these undead creatures does not seem to be strong, and there are always large groups of undead creatures being killed by angels. Lin Yu communicated with a floating island of all worlds and opened the information prompt for killing ordinary monsters. Suddenly, a series of killing information prompts appeared. And it was continuous. Almost without stopping. With the help of the killing prompt, Lin Yu also knew the identity information of these two undead creatures. The skeleton monsters on the battlefield are low-level soldiers of the undead clan. Most of them are level 1 and level 2 skeleton soldiers. Only a few are level 3 and level 4 skeleton warriors. Another kind of green-skinned crawling monster is called a ghoul. Most of them are mutated from dead humans, so they have some human characteristics. The ghouls on the battlefield are generally level 3 and level 4. A few have reached level 5 and are elite ghouls. Although their number is not as large as that of skeleton undead, their strength is stronger. The situation is not bad, the enemies are all ordinary undead creatures, and no high-level undead appear. Lin Yu looked at the fierce battlefield in the distance and couldn't help but secretly breathe a sigh of relief. The advantage of undead creatures is their large number. Looking at the battlefield outside the territory, there are shadows of undead creatures everywhere, densely packed like a swarm of insects. In the case of low levels, the angel team can still deal with it calmly. But if a large number of high-level undead appear, it will be dangerous. Forget hunting, the first reaction must be to withdraw to the territory. Sure enough, as I thought, the sacred and light power mastered by the angels is the nemesis of undead creatures. Whether it is combat skills or angel holy flames, they can easily kill undead creatures, Lin Yu saw with his own eyes. A newly summoned angel, whose level is still at level 5, fights against a ghoul of this same level. After a few sword cuts, the ghoul not only has more sword wounds on his body, but also black smoke comes out of the wounds. Originally, the undead cannot feel pain. But the angel's attack made the ghoul scream in pain, as if it was hot in the vitals and severely damaged its soul. Then, the ghoul seemed to be scared and turned around and ran away. As a result, he was soon caught up by a beautiful angel with the ability to fly, and his head was cut off with a sword. The headless ghoul was still struggling on the ground, and was cut into pieces by the angel's sword several times, and finally died. In addition, angels released golden holy flames on the battlefield. Under the cover of the holy flames, both the ghouls and the skeletons were burned to ashes amidst the painful howls. Generally speaking, fire has little effect on undead creatures. But the holy flames of angels can restrain undead creatures. The evil power of the undead is like gasoline. As long as they are touched by a little holy flame of angels, they will immediately burn until the undead are burned to ashes. There are countless similar battle scenes. It can directly prove that angels are the nemesis of the undead. Even at the same level, angels can easily kill undead creatures. If it were soldiers from other camps, it would be difficult to kill. The so-called undead creatures are definitely not that simple. Take the skeleton warriors on the battlefield for example. Even if their bodies are broken apart, the skeleton warriors can rely on the power of the soul fire to reorganize their skeletons and fight for another 800 rounds. But the sacred and light power from the angels can purify the soul fire. If the soul fire is extinguished, the undead creatures will also die. This is the perfect faction restraint. Before the high-level undead creatures appear, these ordinary undead on the battlefield are equivalent to giving experience to the angel team, and they are experienced monsters that can never be killed. Lin Yu no longer had the initial worries, and his mood became excited. He could clearly see that dense new undead creatures continued to pour into the battlefield. They rushed forward like a tide. And as the undead creatures were harvested in large numbers, both the angel team on the battlefield and Lin Yu, the Lord, received a lot of original power rewards. If he keeps killing like this, Lin Yu even suspected that he would not have to wait until tomorrow morning. His level might soar to level 4 and become a mid-level professional. You know, he is still in the late stage of level 2. Ordinary professionals are divided into 3 levels. Levels 1 to 3 are called low-level professionals. Levels 4 to 6 are mid-level professionals. Levels 7 to 9 are high-level professionals. Breaking through level 9 is a king-level professional. When you reach the king level, you are considered to have entered the ranks of the strong and are no longer an ordinary professional. This is no longer hunting, but group rushing. It's just like entering an experience dungeon when playing games. You can gain a lot of experience every second. Lin Yu was very happy. He even regretted why he didn't send out the angels last night, so that he missed a lot of original power. However, this idea was just rejected by him. Last night, he had only 7 angels under his command, and they were completely unable to deal with the undead army that was like a tide at the moment. An accident would happen if he was not careful. Therefore, his previous decision was completely correct. More than 50 angels can fight against the undead tide that keeps coming, while harvesting a lot of original power. Gold coins will occasionally burst out from those undead monsters. This wave is really a big profit. Original power and gold coins are very important things. Even if there are no blueprints and equipment bursting out, it is enough to satisfy Lin Yu. Half an hour passed quickly. The battle outside the territory was still fierce, and Lin Yu was not sleepy at all. He felt that he could watch it all night. At this time, Lin Yu suddenly felt a huge energy surging in his body. This energy was transforming his body at a speed visible to the naked eye and improving his physical fitness. After a long time, when the energy disappeared and the body was no longer strengthened, he found that his level had broken through. From the late 2nd level, he broke through to the 3rd level. Looking at the entire floating island, this can be said to be a very low level. Even the skeleton warriors who were harvested by the angels were at the 3rd and 4th levels. But you have to know that it has been less than 48 hours since the advent. It can be seen how terrifying Lin Yu's upgrade speed is. Whenever the floating island opens the professional level ranking, I believe Lin Yu's level is definitely far ahead. There is no problem in dominating the first place in the level list. Chapter 31. The new job is a big success. I've been promoted to 3rd level professional. Lin Yu was very happy, with an unstoppable smile on his face. The upgrade speed of the floating island is recognized as difficult. Every time you upgrade a level, the experience, source power, required increases exponentially. This means that you have to kill several times more monsters than before to upgrade again. So far, most professionals on the island are still at level 1. Some don't even have level 1. After all, not everyone has the courage to fight wild monsters. Of course, this is not important. What's important is that the top professionals on the island are probably only hovering around level 2. Or they are in the late stage of level 1, or have just entered level 2. There are very few people who have reached the middle stage of the 2nd level professional. It is not an exaggeration to describe them as rare. This is not Lin Yu's self-conjecture, but he inferred it based on the information revealed in the island chat channel. Take the Golden Behemoth Lord for example. As a lord with top-level troops and the strongest professional alliance on the island, the Hall of Kings, the Golden Behemoth Lord can be called a top boss. Apart from Lin Yu, he is also the most famous on the island. He is ahead of most professionals. However, his level is only the early stage of the 2nd level, and he was only upgraded this afternoon. This was revealed by the Golden Behemoth Lord in the chat channel of the Hall of Kings, in order to enhance his prestige among the Alliance members. Another Alliance member of the Hall of Kings revealed this secret to the island chat channel. Then it was learned by countless professionals and Lin Yu. Apart from the fact that this incident attracted a large number of professionals to join the Hall of Kings, the Golden Behemoth Lord, as the top boss, has just been promoted to level 2, which shows what level the other professionals are at. It's easy to imagine. There are very few professionals who have reached level 2. Under this circumstance, Lin Yu's level breakthrough to level 3 is very terrifying. Without comparison, there is no harm. There is absolutely no problem for Lin Yu to be the first on the list. If Lin Yu's level information is transmitted to the chat channel on the island, it will cause a wide range of shocks, but there will definitely be many professionals who say that this is impossible. No one's level can be improved so quickly. If there is, it is a bug. Lin Yu stood in the small square of the territory. His eyes passed through the territory boundary without fences and looked at the battlefield shrouded in darkness in the distance. The battle between the Angel Team and the Undead Legion never stopped. The waves of undead creatures continued to rush forward, fearless of death. In the darkness nearby, it seemed as if countless undead creatures were gathering, besieging the Angel Team wave after wave. Under the illumination of the holy light, Lin Yu could barely see the battlefield clearly. The battle area, which was hundreds of meters long and wide, was already covered with white bones. Those were the remains of skeleton soldiers and skeleton warriors after they were killed. There was no blood or flesh, but it looked even more eerie and terrifying. In addition to the skeleton remains, there were also many corpses of ghouls. Some had turned to ashes. Others were cut into pieces by the angel sword. Up to now, the number of undead killed by the Angel Team has exceeded 1,000. This is a very astonishing number. It took the Angel Team almost an afternoon to hunt the same number of wild monsters. And this battle has not lasted for an hour since it broke out. It can be seen how fierce the battle was. At the same time, it is also conceivable how terrifying the number of undead creatures hidden in the darkness is. It is not wrong to say that there are undead everywhere. The Angel Team has no way to continue the battle until tomorrow morning. Such a high-intensity battle is a huge loss to the Angel's magic, physical strength, and even spirit. I must remind Yida and Sally. Thinking of this, Lin Yu contacted Yida on the battlefield and said that if she couldn't hold on, she would immediately lead the other angels to withdraw to the territory to avoid unnecessary casualties. Yida also responded quickly, informed Lin Yu that they could still hold on for another round of battle. Hearing this, Lin Yu didn't say anything more. He believed in Yida's ability. In the following time, Lin Yu paid attention to the battle field, while sensing the constantly increasing source of power in the body. Being able to clearly sense the increase in one's own power is a very happy and even intoxicating thing. Lin Yu couldn't help but indulge in it. In addition, Counting the gold coins dropped on the battlefield is also a pleasure. Under the cover of the night, the gold coins reflecting the holy light and flames are particularly bright and dazzling, like stars dotted in the night sky. Counting a circle, more than 70 small stars. Counting again, the number of small stars increased to more than 80. This is visible. In addition, many gold coins are covered by the corpses of undead creatures. So there is no way to count how many gold coins fell on the battlefield. But what is certain is that the number must be quite a lot. Lin Yu said with some regret, "It's a pity that there are too many undead creatures on the battlefield, so the angels have no time to collect gold coins. Otherwise, I can use these gold coins to summon new angels, let them join the battle and kill more undead. Things in the world can never be perfect." Lin Yu could only put this idea aside. In addition, the gold coins dropped on the battlefield will not disappear. At most, they will be collected tomorrow morning after the undead creatures retreat, so the impact is not great. Another hour passed. The angels on the battlefield no longer chose to fight the undead army head-on. Under the command of Yuta and Sally, the angel team fought and retreated, slowly retreating towards the territory. The consumption of the angels was too great. Especially the magic power in the body, which was about to be exhausted. Whether it is combat skills or angel holy flames, they all need the support of magic power to show their powerful power. Once the magic power is exhausted, the strength of the angels will also be seriously affected. Therefore, we need to retreat temporarily. Even if we want to continue fighting, we have to wait until the magic power recovers. But at this moment, a burst of angry roars suddenly came from the jungle in the distance that was completely shrouded in darkness. The sound was completely different from the monster roars that Lin Yu usually heard. Not only did it reveal endless murderous aura, but it also gave people an extremely cold feeling. It was like the dead were howling. "Retreat!" Yita's face tightened. He once again issued an order for all members to retreat. Other angels also sensed that the crisis was about to come, and they no longer fought and retreated, but released all the magic power in their bodies in an instant, killing the undead creatures blocking the way in large numbers. Although there were more undead creatures surrounding them nearby, the angel team still killed their way to the territory. On this road, there was a raging flame. That was the holy flame of angels that could purify all evil. The angels did not flap their wings and retreat from the air, because the air was not absolutely safe. On the contrary, under the threat of the holy flame, the nearby undead creatures dared not approach, and could only watch the angels pass through the holy flame channel and break out of their encirclement. Roar, roar, roar. There were many ghouls roaring nearby, venting their dissatisfaction. Until another roar came, the ghouls and skeletons retreated like a tide and disappeared into the darkness. The undead army retreated, but it was not over. Soon, the darkness in the distance seemed to be torn apart by some terrifying creature, and a huge figure slowly walked out of it. The earth also trembled with the appearance of this figure. After a while, the figure came to the starting point of the holy flame channel. The golden flames that had not yet extinguished clearly reflected it in Lin Yu's vision. At that moment, Lin Yu's pupils shrank suddenly. Chapter 32. The two of them were so frightened that they had to face each other. What kind of terrifying figure was that? Although it was in human form, its body was more than 4 meters tall, close to 5 meters. In front of this figure, the tall and strong two-headed demon commander could only be described as a little karami. It stood at the end of the holy flame passage. Its dark blue eyes stared at the angel team that had withdrawn to the territory, showing its indifference. On its body, it was wearing a full set of black armor, and behind it were 2 exaggeratedly large swords, which were larger and more intimidating than the wolf tooth club that Lin Yu put on the shelf today. Through the eye sockets of the black helmet, it can be seen that its dark blue pupils are not real eyes, but 2 burning flames. That is the fire of the soul. The characteristics of the undead skeleton clan. It can be predicted that the body wrapped in black armor is most likely composed of skeletons. It is just hard to imagine what race it was in its lifetime. How could it have such a huge body? Human? Definitely not. Perhaps it is a giant, or it may be the legendary Titan. Lin Yu thinks that the probability of the former is higher. I don't know if it is because of the distance, or because the level difference is too large, which caused Lin Yu to not see the information of this giant undead. Lord, Yuta came to Lin Yu's side. There was a blush on her beautiful jade-like cheeks. It seemed to be caused by the fierce battle just now. But no matter what the reason is, at least in Lin Yu's eyes, Yuta is more beautiful at this time, exuding a suffocating charm. It's not that Lin Yu has never seen a beautiful woman. Su Da's class teacher is a beautiful woman with a score of more than 90 points. But it must be said that compared with Yida's beauty, Su Da's class teacher is still a level lower. Yida did not notice Lin Yu's abnormality. She still said to Lin Yu respectfully, "The magic fluctuation of this undead creature is very strong, exceeding the 9th level. With my strength, I am enough to compete with a 9th level professional, but this undead creature gives me a very dangerous feeling. Its level should have reached the king level." King level undead. Lin Yu was shocked. It's normal to kill the small one and then the big one comes. But it was still beyond his expectation that such a big one came out. Lin Yu quickly calmed down and said, "Don't worry, our territory is protected by the power of the rules of the floating island. Even if it is really a king-level boss, it can't get in. The power of the rules of the floating island cannot be broken by a mere king-level creature." "Yes," Yida nodded. Then he said to Lin Yu very firmly, "Please give me some time, Lord. When I reach level 9, I will kill this undead heretic and purify its soul to cleanse its disrespect for you." In Yida's view, this king-level undead trespassed into the territory of the Lord of Holy Light, and looked down at the people of the Lord of Holy Light with indifference. This is disrespect to the Lord of Holy Light, and it is an unforgivable sin. Wait for her to develop a wave, and then kill this guy. "Okay, I'll wait," Lin Yu smiled. It turns out that there is motivation only when there is pressure. Look, Yida couldn't wait to reach level 9. At this moment, the king-level undead slowly turned its huge head, moved its eyes away from the angels, and then locked onto Lin Yu, as if it had finally found the real owner. At that moment, Lin Yu also felt inexplicably creepy. There was a sense of horror that could not be described in words. However, this feeling did not last long, because Yida and Sally directly blocked in front of him, staring back at the king-level undead. As angels of holy creatures, they are fearless. Especially when facing evil creatures, angels have their own enemy-killing buff. Facing the glare from Yida and Sally, the king-level undead did not speak, or perhaps it would not speak. After all, it belonged to the skeleton clan, and it was likely that it had no vocal cords. After staring at the two angels for a moment, it seemed to be defeated. Twisting its giant body, it slowly stepped into the darkness behind. It came quickly and left quickly. As it left, a noise came from outside the territory, as if the dense undead creatures were also taken away. Here, Lin Yu secretly breathed a sigh of relief. After all, it was a king-level boss, and it was still difficult for him to fight it now. It would be best if he left alone. Lin Yu looked at Yida and Sally, who had retreated to the side, and asked, "Can you tell what kind of undead this is? A skeleton lord? Or a skeleton king?" Reporting to the lord, "It is a skeleton king," Yida replied. Sally added, "I can sense that there are still a large number of high-level undead hidden in the darkness behind it, which is far beyond the ordinary skeleton monsters and ghouls on the battlefield." Hearing this, Lin Yu was immediately very fortunate. Fortunately, the angel team evacuated decisively, and fortunately, the territory was protected by the power of the rules of the floating island. Otherwise, the loss this time would be great. This also directly proves that the wild world shrouded in darkness is indeed very dangerous. A little carelessness may overturn. Lin Yu suddenly frowned and said, "It's a bit strange. How could this skeleton king come to my territory in the middle of the night with a group of high-level undead minions? Where did it come from?" No angel could answer this question, because they couldn't figure it out. At this moment, Lin Yu suddenly heard someone talking. The voice was very low, but he could hear it clearly. The content was great. Great God! Looking in the direction of the voice, he saw a goblin raising his hand. This goblin was the goblin Zhago that Lin Yu had come to chat with in the afternoon. "Come over," Lin Yu waved to the goblin Zhago. After receiving the Lord's call, Zhago hurried over, knelt down in front of Lin Yu, and said excitedly, "My lord, I know the origin of the skeleton king." "Really?" Lin Yu's eyes lit up. "Tell me about it." Gnome Zhago did not dare to raise his head, so he kept his head down and said quickly, "It's called Ryan, Skeleton King Ryan. It is said that it was a strong man in the giant kingdom when it was alive. Because of the sudden death, it caused resentment and finally turned into an undead creature. Skeleton King Ryan is the ruler of the burial ground, but no one knows where the burial ground is located. We can only guess that it may be in the underground world." "Underground world?" "Yes, Lord," Gnome Zhago said. "There are countless evil creatures living in the underground world under our feet, and the undead are just one of them." Hearing this, Lin Yu felt that his worldview had expanded again. He thought for a moment and said to Yida, The Skeleton King's territory should be underground in our vicinity, otherwise, it would not appear so quickly. When you go out hunting, pay attention to search for passages to the underground world nearby. For Lin Yu now. Skeleton King Ryan is a time bomb, very dangerous. But it won't be long before Yuta and Sally reach level 9, and Skeleton King Ryan will become an Easter egg. When playing games before, Lin Yu's favorite thing was to push boss. It's the same when he arrived at the floating island. Killing boss level monsters will have a higher probability of exploding blueprints and equipment. Here, the goblin Zago raised his hand again and said, "Lord, the Grey Dwarf tribe should know where there is a passage to the underground world. The despicable Grey Dwarves like to dig caves in the belly of the mountain and underground, and even their tribe is hidden in the belly of the mountain." "This is good news," Lin Yu grinned. His original plan was to attack the Grey Land Dwarf tribe after dealing with the Goblin tribe. The last step was to kill the two-headed demon tribe guarded by a king-level warrior. Now it happened that after pushing the Grey Land Dwarf tribe in the past 2 days, he could simultaneously collect some information about the Skeleton King Ryan and prepare for the next Easter egg. "Zago, you did a great job. I believe you are a promising goblin." Hearing Lin Yu's words, the goblin Zago was immediately overjoyed. He felt that his soul was about to float. After all, this was a praise from God. After the goblin Zago left, Lin Yu also asked Yuta and other angels to go back to rest and restore the almost exhausted magic power in their bodies. There is definitely no hunting tonight. The angel team needs to rest up and wait until tomorrow morning to capture the goblin tribe. Chapter 33. The night before the rain, the sun was shining. This was the second night after arriving at the floating island. Lin Yu didn't sleep very well. When he was half asleep, he could always hear unknown creatures roaring and howling near the territory. He was woken up several times in the middle of the night. He suspected that Skeleton King Ryan had sent undead creatures to shout and disturb his sleep in the wild because he failed to break into his territory. Every time he thought of this, Lin Yu became more determined to get rid of Skeleton King Easter egg. The next morning, Lin Yu woke up from the bed yawning. On the bedside table next to him, there was the breakfast prepared by the angels for him. Fresh fruits, barbecue, honey water, just like yesterday. It was true that it was limited by the conditions. Otherwise, the angels would definitely serve Lin Yu in various ways. For the angels, as the only Lord of Holy Light they believed in, Lin Yu was entitled to the best things in the world, and he had to have the best of everything. While eating breakfast while brushing the island trading platform, from time to time, he would open the chat channel next to him to see what the professionals were doing in the new day, or whether there were more revelations. This was also Lin Yu's daily work. After breakfast, Lin Yu walked out of the bedroom on the second floor and came to the Lord's Hall on the first floor. The first thing he saw was the gold coins piled up in the hall. There were a lot of them, more than 200. Obviously, this was the harvest of the angel team's group brushing of undead monsters last night. While Lin Yu was still sleeping, the hard-working angels had already finished cleaning the battlefield and piled up the collected spoils in the Lord's Hall. At this moment, the angel team was not on the territory, they had already gone to the Goblin tribe. In addition to the angel team, there was also a transport team consisting of about 200 Goblin warriors and Goblin warriors. If nothing unexpected happened, this tribal war would soon begin. There are a total of 264 gold coins. You can summon 5 double-winged angels. In addition, the spoils are not only gold coins, but also 2 pieces of equipment, a bone sword and a defensive leather armor. Although the blueprints were not exploded, 2 pieces of equipment were unexpectedly exploded, and the gold coins were also a great harvest, which made Lin Yu very happy. He then checked the information of the 2 pieces of equipment: skull sword, type, attack equipment, damage level, level 4, durability, 100, special effect, none, introduction. This is a bone sword made of the vertebrae of a skeleton, which contains a trace of weak undead power. Gold leather armor, type, defensive equipment, defense level, level 5, durability, 100, special effect, camouflage, introduction. This is a leather armor made of the skin of an elite ghoul. Wearing it, you will become one of the ghouls, and ordinary undead creatures below level 5 will find it difficult to see through your disguise. 2 pieces of equipment, one is a level 4 ordinary equipment. The other is a level 5 top quality equipment with special effects. Lin Yu was very happy. These 2 pieces of equipment combined should be able to sell for hundreds of gold coins, or even more. Especially the gold leather armor, which might give him an unexpected surprise. Without hesitation, he immediately put the 2 pieces of equipment on the island trading platform and set the trading mode to auction mode. Auction time, 1 hour. The reserve price of skull sword is 100 gold coins. The reserve price of gold leather armor is 300 gold coins. As soon as the 2 pieces of equipment were put on the shelves, they caused a small sensation in the island chat channel and attracted the attention of a large number of professionals. At this stage, there are still relatively few level 4 equipment on the trading platform. As for level 5 equipment, it can only be described as rare. Especially level 5 equipment with special effects, it is even rarer. So far, there have only been 2 level 5 top quality equipment sold by people other than Lin Yu, and all of them were sold at high prices. However, this is not the main reason for the sensation. It is not because Lin Yu's fame on the island has reached the point where everyone knows it. It's because of the secret hidden behind the skull sword and gold leather armor chat channel on the island. As expected of Big Boss Lin Yu, he has put 2 more pieces of equipment on the shelves, one of which is a top-grade equipment. My envy of Big Boss Lin Yu has changed me beyond recognition. At Lin Yu, please support me. By the way, didn't you see anything? The 2 pieces of equipment that Big Boss Lin Yu put on the shelves are all equipment of the undead camp. It's just undead equipment. What's so strange about it? Big Boss Lin Yu can even drop level 8 top-grade equipment, not to mention level 5 top-grade equipment. This is not the point. The point is that I suspect Big Boss Lin Yu has started hunting at night. Because generally speaking, monsters of the undead camp appear at night. Damn. It seems to be true. Has Big Boss Lin Yu's strength become so strong? As a lord with advanced arms, I think going out hunting at night is just suicide. Last night, I just lost a team of high-level soldiers, and not even a bubble popped up as a rare high-level lord. This professional is very proud. However, someone soon responded and complained, "Brother above, just because you can't do something doesn't mean Lin Yu can't do it. What is a high-level lord? Master Lin Yu is a top lord, NV+1. While our team was still trying to figure out how to survive the night, Master Lin Yu had already started hunting wild monsters at night. I can only say that people are so angry when they compare themselves to others. Master Lin Yu is really too strong. Fuck, look at the trading platform. In such a short time, the auction price of the ghoul leather armor has exceeded 470 gold coins. By the way, are there so many rich people now? With this bidding frequency, the final transaction price must be heading for 1,000 gold coins. It seems that the most expensive level 5 top-grade equipment before was only sold for 530 gold coins. Is this the legendary star effect? I really don't know what those crazy bidders are thinking. What's the point of bidding a level 5 equipment at a high price? Just because it was revealed by Lin Yu, does the equipment sold by Lin Yu have collection value? I can only say that people are stupid and have a lot of money. Lin Yu, who is also paying attention to the island chat channel, can't help but shake his head when he saw this information. These people don't see the true value of gold leather armor at all. And those who have discovered the value behind gold leather armor are either bidding wildly or beating their chests and stamping their feet, suffering that they don't have gold coins to participate in the auction. There are still many smart people in the world. The gold leather armor did not disappoint me and brought me a surprise. Lin Yu expected that the gold leather armor would be auctioned at an astonishingly high price. As for the messy chat channel, he did not pay attention to it anymore, but communicated with the floating island of 10,000 worlds with his mind and summoned a black hole. Not long after, 5 beautiful figures flew out of the black hole. 5 more charming winged angels. After this summoning, Lin Yu only had 26 gold coins left. This made him sigh. For him as a lord, no matter how many gold coins he had, it was not enough. Chapter 34. The 5 double-winged angels that had just been summoned were also sent out by Lin Yu. Let them join the angel team. So far, Lin Yu has a total of 58 double-winged angels. Among the many angels, Yida and Sally have the highest level, late level 7. Vina and Qiaozai also successfully broke through to level 7 in the battle with the Undead Legion last night. The 3 angel sisters, as well as Ruiyi and Hailan who were summoned later, have all entered the middle and late stages of level 6. In addition to them, several angels were promoted to level 6 last night. In yesterday's battle, the angel team gained more than Lin Yu, because they were the killers of the undead monsters and received most of the original power rewards. 4 level 7s, 8 level 6s, add dozens of angels and 200 elite goblin believers, enough to conquer the goblin tribe, although he failed to summon the four-winged angel as he wished and let the four-winged angel lead the team to attack the goblin tribe. With the current strength of the angel team, conquering the goblin tribe is not a problem. Only Lin Yu himself felt a little regretful. But there was no way. Without the fence blueprint, he could not upgrade the territory. He could not summon the four-winged angel. The wood, stone, and iron ore resources he stored in the warehouse were enough to upgrade the territory to intermediate village, but he could not upgrade it because he did not have the fence blueprint. He even wanted to spend hundreds of gold coins to buy it on the trading platform. Of course, he was not the only one troubled by the territory upgrade. Other lord professionals were also unable to upgrade their territories. Lin Yu already has 2 of the 3 pre-built buildings for upgrading the territory to intermediate village, warehouse, arrow tower, and fence, while other lord professionals may not even have one. So, his development speed is still very fast. Came to the outside of the Lord's Hall. Lin Yu saw more than 100 goblins gathered in the small square not far away. These goblins are ordinary goblins, generally at level 1, with very low combat power, and are only suitable for doing logistics work. Now, the goblins are decomposing the corpses of monsters. These monster corpses are left over from yesterday. There are still hundreds of monster corpses that have not been decomposed. Look up at the battlefield last night again. I saw that the area of about 200 meters was covered with white bones and a large number of ghoul corpses. These things have no use value, so they are left on the battlefield. However, there is no need to worry that these debris will breed evil undead forces, because the angels have purified them with holy light early in the morning. Not to mention breeding the power of the undead, even if it is brought back to stew bone soup, it will be no problem. Later, Lin Yu came to the spiritual field outside the territory. Seeing that the spiritual field, which was 100 meters long and wide, was still shrouded by a faint halo and was not affected by the night battle last night, he also breathed a sigh of relief. For the Lord, the spiritual field is very useful. Now Lin Yu did not use it because he did not have the seeds of crops. Once he had the seeds, he could grow spiritual rice to improve the food problem in the territory, so that he would not have to eat fruits and barbecued beast meat every meal. Besides, spiritual rice also has the effect of improving physical fitness. Long-term consumption can enhance physical fitness. For example, those ordinary goblins in the territory, long-term consumption of spiritual rice may break through the shackles and become goblin warriors, or even goblin warriors. To put it in a bigger way, when the number of people under Lin Yu's command increases in the future. For example, the people of a city, more than 1 million. If all the people in the territory eat spiritual rice, it will be of great help to the development of the territory and even the improvement of the overall strength of the people in the territory. Not only spiritual rice, spiritual fields can also grow demon plants and magic potions. Yesterday, when Lin Yu was chatting with the goblin Zago, he asked about the information about demon plants and magic potions. Demon plants, in layman's terms, are plants that have become spirits. The biggest role is to protect the territory. In a territory guarded by demon plants, ordinary wild monsters will retreat. Magic potions are medicinal materials that can be used to prepare potions. In the world of professionals, potions are disposable consumables, similar to red and blue potions in the game, and they are also extremely important to professionals. In battle, a professional who takes drugs is very fierce. Just like making equipment, if the Lord wants to prepare potions, he also needs to have their exclusive buildings. The pre-building for preparing potions is called Pharmacist Mansion. Pharmacist Mansion is more advanced than the blacksmith shop for making equipment, and the relevant drawings are more difficult to reveal. Equipment merchants and potion merchants are all big money-making companies on the floating island. If Lin Yu can monopolize the equipment and potion business on the floating island, then the gold coins he harvests every day will definitely be measured in units of 100 million, and he can summon a large-scale angel army in minutes. Of course, this is a dream. To achieve it, you have to keep working hard. Goblin Tribe. Located to the west of Lin Yu's territory, about 4 kilometers away. Don't underestimate this 4-kilometer distance. There is no highway in the middle, and there is not even a road. There are only patches of dense forests and one after another occupied by wild monsters. Nowadays, most of the Lord professionals are still clearing wild monsters within 1 kilometer around the territory. Lin Yu's troops, however, had already crossed several kilometers to attack the base of local intelligent creatures. This was also a very big gap. After 2 hours of jungle marching, during which they killed countless wild monsters, the angel team finally arrived at the goblin tribe. After arriving, the angels did not hide their bodies. They flapped their snow-white angel wings and stood 100 meters high. Each angel was fully armed. Wearing silver-white armor, holding an angel sword burning with golden flames, they exuded an incomparably holy light. This scene alone shocked the goblins in the tribe. Tribe, patriarch, what kind of creature is outside? The legendary winged man. On the wooden wall of the goblin tribe stood a group of high-level goblins, headed by the goblin patriarch. They all stared at the angels standing high in the sky in the distance in amazement. Beautiful and holy. This was their first impression of the angels. I don't know. The chief of the earth tribe shook his head. He was the most experienced and oldest goblin in the tribe, but he had never seen what the legendary winged people looked like. Perhaps the people outside were winged people, or perhaps they were other races. But no matter what race it was certain that they were not friendly. If a friend came to visit, he would definitely not be armed. Thinking of this, the chief of the earth tribe could not help but tighten the staff in his hand. That was the source of his power. An elementalist without a staff would have his combat effectiveness reduced by at least 30%. The chief of the earth tribe said with a serious expression, "Everyone, cheer up. This is a group of enemies who are trying to invade our tribe. Although their level is not high, don't be careless." "Yes, chief," the goblin warriors responded one after another. At the same time, the goblin tribe was also preparing for war. The remaining more than 300 goblins, regardless of whether they were combat capable or not, were all assembled. Protecting the tribe is the duty of all goblins. No goblin will abandon his tribe and choose to run away, unless the enemy is too strong. At this moment, a burst of strange noises suddenly came from the jungle outside the tribe. Listening carefully, it seems to be a uniform slogan. A moment later, many goblins emerged in the jungle. All of them were well equipped. Led by several goblin warriors, the rest were all goblin warriors. The total size reached about 200. Soon, this goblin team also appeared near the goblin tribe and arranged an offensive camp. Seeing this scene, the goblin chief and others on the wooden wall were all dumbfounded. What the hell? If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 35. The goblin chief and others were a little confused. The reason was simple. The goblins gathered outside the tribe were the tribesmen they had lost in the past 2 days. There were nearly 200 elite goblins, no more and no less. The missing ones were the more than 100 ordinary goblins. If all were added together, it would be just enough. In addition to the matching number, they also saw many familiar figures in the goblin team. Some of the goblins, they could even call out their names. The goblins lost in the past 2 days are not dead at all, they are all still alive. A group of goblin warriors widened their eyes and expressed disbelief. At the same time, they couldn't figure out why these elite goblins of the tribe appeared in the enemy camp and even showed signs of attacking the tribe. This was no longer a few betrayals, but a large-scale rebellion. Damn it, I was fooled. That stupid goblin deceived me, the goblin chief roared as if he suddenly thought of something. The stupid goblin he was scolding was the goblin Lun, the weak goblin warrior he expelled from the tribal meeting hall. He was fooled by the goblin Lun. From the beginning, there was no so-called cave food reserve, and there was no incident of being attacked by the Grey Dwarf tribe during the transportation of food. It can even be said that the Grey Dwarf tribe has nothing to do with this series of events. This is a conspiracy. A conspiracy from the winged people. The goblin chief stared fiercely at the angels standing high in the sky in the distance. It was these winged people who were plotting against his tribe. He had to admit. This was a group of extremely beautiful creatures. Even from the perspective of the goblins' aesthetics, these creatures were very beautiful. Moreover, the goblin chieftain also sensed an extremely strong power of holiness and light in them, exuding an incomparable holy aura. When he looked up at these beautiful creatures, he even had an urge to bow down and worship them. They were like messengers of God walking in the mortal world. No, this is the power of bewitching. The goblin chieftain woke up instantly and said angrily, "Beauty is only their appearance. They are essentially a group of extremely evil creatures. They must have bewitched these elite goblins of my tribe with evil magic. This was the only reasonable explanation he could think of. Apart from the evil magic that could bewitch the soul, he couldn't figure out what other ways could make so many elite goblins of the tribe betray all of them in a short period of time. And that stupid goblin, and the 30 or so goblin warriors who returned to the tribe with him, they are very likely to have been bewitched by these evil creatures. Otherwise, they will definitely tell me the truth of the incident, instead of, oh no, they are in the tribe now. The goblin chief shuddered and felt a chill on his back. He realized it later. Only now did he realize that the enemy had actually penetrated into their tribe. The goblin chief did not dare to hesitate and hurriedly ordered a goblin warrior beside him. Hurry up, go and capture Lin and all the goblin warriors who returned to the tribe with him. What? The goblin warrior was confused. He didn't understand why the chief suddenly issued such an order. The enemy units were approaching the tribe. A tribal defense war could break out at any time. Capturing goblin warriors in the tribe at this time, isn't this digging the foundation of the tribe? Once the tribe is in chaos, it is very likely to give the enemy an opportunity to take advantage. Chief, why do you want to capture them? The goblin chief said with a gloomy face. The goblin warriors who returned to the tribe with Lin yesterday have been controlled by evil forces. What? The goblin warrior was shocked. In their tribe, there are spies sent by the enemy? Don't talk nonsense. Go quickly. Yes, chief, I will go and catch those traitors now. However, before the goblin warrior finished speaking, the horn of war had already sounded outside the tribe. The shouting and killing startled countless birds in the jungle. That was a way for the goblins to boost morale. After receiving the order from the holy envoy, the goblin believers immediately launched an offensive, and nearly 200 elite goblins rushed towards the goblin tribe. They charged and shouted. Just like the death squad in the movie, they didn't care whether there was danger ahead. Crazy, all these goblins are crazy, a level 7 goblin warrior subconsciously complained. When we fought with a gray land dwarf tribe before, these guys were not as crazy as they are now. This is the horror of the bewitching evil magic. The goblin chieftain was more convinced of his point of view. Remember, gather all your strength to attack the winged people flying high in the sky later. Let's call them winged people. They are evil spellcasters. Kill them and the evil magic will fall apart. Understood, chieftain? All the goblin warriors nodded. At this time, a strong goblin asked, Master, what should we do with the goblins outside the tribe? The goblin chief said coldly, don't worry about it. They can't break through the tribal wall for a while. If necessary, you can kill a small part of them. Everything for the tribe, for the tribe, the goblin strongmen shouted in unison and prepared for battle. Here we come, the goblin chief suddenly roared. At the same time, he waved the elemental staff in his hand, condensed a huge fireball, and smashed it towards a group of beautiful figures in the sky in the distance. At this moment, dozens of winged angels holding holy swords were swooping down from a height of 100 meters. It can be seen that the holy swords in the hands of each angel are burning with brilliant golden flames, and the angel wings behind them are emitting a holy and dazzling brilliance. This is an extremely beautiful picture. A loud bang. The huge fireball, which was nearly 1 meter in diameter, was forcibly chopped and exploded by a cross-shaped sword light in the sky. The blazing flames instantly enveloped an area of dozens of meters in radius. It looked spectacular, but it was not very threatening. Because the magic power of the fire element had been destroyed and turned into ordinary flames. Under the leadership of Yida and Sally, dozens of winged angels broke through the sea of fire without hesitation and killed into the goblin tribe below. This doesn't make sense, the goblin chief screamed. He is an elementalist of level 9. The fireball spell released by him is powerful enough to kill a level 8 professional. And those winged people, whose highest level is only the middle level of level 7, can chopped his fireball spell with a sword and even destroyed the magic runes he attached to the fireball. How can the power of a mere level 7 be so strong? This made him completely incomprehensible. However, before he could think about it, the attack of the angel team had arrived. Dozens of brilliant sword lights cut through the space and slashed straight towards the location of the goblin chief and others. Get out of the way, the goblin chief sensed a very threatening aura in these sword lights. He jumped off the wooden wall after a roar. Other goblin warriors were also scared and dodged immediately. However, a few goblin warriors who ran slowly were chopped into pieces by these sword lights on the spot. Boom 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 boom. The sword light continued to move forward. In the blink of an eye, it hit the wooden wall again. In the scene of a flurry of wood chips, a gap several meters wide suddenly appeared in the wooden wall. Kill, go in and save those ignorant goblins. Hail to the great Lord of Holy Light, praise the Holy Light. Nearly 200 elite goblins rushed into the goblin tribe through the gap. As if they had received a signal, more than 30 goblin warriors, led by the goblin Lun, rebelled on the spot. They shouted praises to the Holy Light and believed in eternity, while waving their weapons to attack the goblins in the nearby tribe. Enemies were everywhere. For a moment, the goblin tribe fell into chaos. Chapter 36. The old man was so angry that he was scolded. Lun, what are you doing? I'm your uncle, you dare to betray the tribe and the chief, and point your weapon at me. Are you crazy? In the chaotic goblin tribe, an old goblin was roaring. The goblin Lun, who was already crazy after being scolded by him, swung his long sword without hesitation, and knocked out a tribal goblin next to him with the back of the sword. I'm not crazy, it's the tribesmen who are too ignorant. Baril, the goblin chief, can't lead the tribe to glory. He can't even deal with the despicable Grey Dwarf tribe. Only the great Lord of Light can revitalize our goblin tribe. Uncle, believe in the Lord of Light with me, God will protect us. Goblin Lun, holding a long sword, walked step by step towards the old goblin. The old goblin said in horror, put down your weapons first, let's sit down and talk slowly. The goblin Lun shook his head and said, the Lord of Holy Light is a benevolent God who gave the tribesmen a chance to redeem themselves, but only this time. Uncle, believe me, I won't hurt you. Then can you put down your weapons first before talking? No. Seeing the goblin Lun approaching with a long sword, the old goblin was scared and shouted immediately, don't go forward, I listen to you and believe in the Holy Light with you. Okay uncle, I need you to kneel on the ground now, don't do anything else meaningless. Later, when the tribal war is over, the respected holy envoy will ignite the fire of faith for you. I know, can you stay away from me? Okay uncle. The goblin Lun turned and left. The old goblin kneeling on the ground looked around, ready to find an opportunity to escape. But soon he found that the goblin believers had surrounded the entire tribe. Those tribal goblins who refused to bow their heads to the Holy Light were either struggling to resist or had been chopped to the ground. He couldn't escape. The most important thing was, even if he managed to escape from the tribe, where could he escape to? Without the protection of the tribe, he would sooner or later become food for wild monsters. Thinking of this, the old goblin surrendered immediately. No longer thinking about escaping, but hoping that the tribal strongmen headed by the goblin chief could successfully repel the invaders, so that he would not have to become a believer of the Lord of Holy Light. Like the goblin chief, the old goblin also believed that the goblin believers were controlled by evil magic. Of course, the Lord of Holy Light was naturally the evil god. And the evil god must not be believed in. Otherwise, it would definitely bring a catastrophe to the tribe and even the entire tribe. Less than 10 minutes. Lin Yu's 200 elite goblin believers controlled the entire goblin tribe. In the goblin tribe, although there are more than 300 goblins, most of them are ordinary goblins. And the strong men of the goblin tribe have been surrounded by the angel team. The goblin believers who have no opponents easily occupied the goblin tribe. At a glance, the tribe is full of goblins kneeling on the ground. In addition, some goblins were knocked unconscious by physical means and lay staggeringly. Our mission is completed, now we just wait for the saints to finish telling the creed to the chieftain Baril, and this battle of tribal salvation can end. Praise the great Lord of Holy Light, under the guidance of God. Our goblin tribe will surely move towards the light. The goblin believers looked fanatical. They all looked forward to the glorious future of the goblin tribe. And those tribal goblins who were forced to kneel on the ground were terrified and felt that the goblin believers were all crazy. This world no longer needs faith. They are now hoping that the old goblin chieftain can win and come to save them. Damn it, are all the legendary winged people so powerful? On the battlefield, the goblin chieftain's eyes were bloodshot, and he kept waving his elemental staff, releasing huge fireballs to hit the 4 angels who were besieging him. However, his elemental magic was useless. It was difficult to pose a sufficient threat to the enemy. All the fireballs he released were chopped up in mid-air by the dazzling sword light, leaving only a piece of it. Is difficult to make any achievements outside the burned black land. The 4 angels besieging the goblin chief are all level 7. Yida and Sally are the main attackers. Vina and Kiaozai are responsible for auxiliary support. The 4 angels joined forces to force the goblin chief to retreat continuously. From the wooden wall of the tribe, they retreated all the way to the outside of the conference hall that carried the countless glory of the goblin tribe. As for the other goblin warriors, they had been surrounded long ago. Their situation was even more dangerous, because the remaining dozens of angels were all besieging them. Several of the dozen goblin warriors were killed in the first wave of encounters. After the next round of battles, several more goblin warriors were killed. As of now, only 6 goblin warriors are still struggling. Among them, 2 are level 8 goblin commanders and 4 are level 7 goblin warriors. What a terrifying power! Are all these winged people the sons of the gods in the legend? At this moment, the 6 goblin warriors were surrounded by the angel team, facing terrible attacks from all directions at all times, and they would die on the spot if they were not careful. When the angel team just arrived, they actually did not take the angels seriously, because the angels were not of high level. Generally level 5, a few level 6. The most powerful level 7 angels were only 4. And the goblin tribe had level 9 and level 8 warriors sitting in charge. They had every reason to believe that the angel team could not break their tribe. But when the real war started, they found that they had greatly underestimated the power of the angels, and each angel had the strength to fight across levels. 2 powerful level 8 goblin commanders were even beaten by a group of level 6 angels without any ability to fight back. This is a very incredible thing. At the same time, it also made the surrounded goblin warriors shocked and frightened. What made them feel most desperate was that their old patriarch seemed to be about to collapse. Elementalists are long-range artillery on the battlefield, and the most taboo thing is to be attacked by the enemy in close combat. When the 4 most powerful angels besieged the goblin patriarch, his end seemed to be foreseeable. Fire dragon magic, the goblin patriarch roared. He waved his staff and released the advanced elemental magic of the fire system. In an instant, a fire dragon tens of meters long swept towards Yuta and others. Where the fire dragon flew over, not only the earth was scorched, but even the air was burned with a burnt smell, which shows how powerful it is. However, Yuta and the other 4 did not retreat. At a distance of tens of meters, they slashed the angel sword in their hands at the fire dragon. Suddenly, 4 golden flames gushed out. They turned into huge fire pythons and crashed into the fire dragon. With a loud bang, the giant fire dragon was directly smashed apart, and even the fire waves that appeared after the explosion were swallowed up by the golden fire pythons. What kind of flame is this? The goblin chief was horrified. The series of events that happened today seemed to be out of his cognition. Yuta and others approached step by step and said, "This is the sacred and bright flame condensed by faith, which can purify all evil in the world. Old goblin, my lord is merciful and gives you a chance to live. Believe in my lord and join the camp of holy light. You will gain eternal life and salvation." What if I refuse? The goblin chief held the elemental staff tightly, his face full of vigilance and anger. Reject. Yuta stood in the air. Behind her was a pair of angel wings emitting holy light. She had a beautiful face, like a goddess descending to the earth. She looked down at the goblin chieftain and said indifferently, "Heretics who refuse to believe in the holy light will not receive mercy from our Lord. The end will be that their souls and bodies will be purified by the holy flame." Chapter 37. The so-called purification of the body and soul, in layman's terms, is to burn to death on the spot. The goblin chief's face was very ugly. There was anger and fear. He had a deep understanding of the power of the angel's holy flame. The only advanced elemental magic of the fire system he mastered, fire dragon technique, was directly burned to death by the angel's holy flame when the flames collided. If it were him, he would definitely be burned to slag. How could a flesh and blood body resist the burning of the fire of faith? The goblin chief even suspected that Yuta was not bragging. The angel's holy flame could burn the soul of the living creature while burning the flesh to ashes, because he sensed an extremely terrifying power of annihilation in the holy flame. That power made his soul fear. Without his soul, he couldn't even become an undead. The goblin chief wanted to resist, but he knew that he was no match for these angels, which was concluded from the battle just now. If he resisted stubbornly, he would be surrounded and killed with a great probability. After a moment of silence, the goblin chief said with a gloomy face, "You won. I can hand over the tribe to you, and promise not to take anything away, as long as you let me go." He is different from the uncle of the goblin Lin. He is a level 9 professional. One step further, he is a king-level strong man. With his strength, he can survive alone in this jungle, and it is not impossible to go to the world outside the jungle. Once he breaks through the shackles and enters the king level, he will soar into the sky and live well anywhere. In this case, how could he be willing to become a believer of the evil god? Giving up the tribe is his bottom line. Unfortunately, this is his bottom line, and has nothing to do with Yuta and others. Without any communication, Yuta, Sally, Vina, and Kiaozai, 4 level 7 angels, directly surrounded the goblin chief and blocked all his retreat routes. The goblin chief was immediately horrified and said, "What do you want to do? I promised to hand over the tribe to you, and you still won't let me go? We have already conquered this tribe, and we don't need your consent." Yuta held the angel sword diagonally, and the sword was blazing. "You only have 2 choices now. One is to believe in my lord and redeem yourself. The other is to be purified by the holy flame." The goblin chief turned his head and looked. He saw goblins kneeling on the ground in the distance. Under the watch of a group of goblin believers, no goblin in any tribe dared to move, and they were all obedient. On the other side, there were only 3 goblin warriors besieged by the angel team, and they all surrendered and dared not resist any more. Among them, there was also an 8th level goblin leader. All the tribesmen were captured, and the tribe's strongmen died or surrendered. Now he has become a lonely man. But even so, the attitude of the goblin chief is still tough. He gritted his teeth and said, "I will not bow my head to any evil god." "Then you go to hell." Before the voice fell, Yuta and others surrounded and killed the goblin chief. The goblin chief also broke out. He waved the elemental staff in his hand frantically, releasing a series of hot and extremely destructive fire element magic, trying to repel the angels and find a breakthrough. However, he soon despaired. Because many angels appeared near the battlefield. Although the levels of these angels are only level 5 and 6, they are enough to cut off his escape route. Boom! Another giant fire dragon was chopped and exploded. The blazing fire surged in all directions, setting some nearby tribal buildings on fire. Under the blazing fire, the goblin chieftain was in an extremely embarrassed figure. Although he was not seriously injured, most of the magic power in his body had been consumed, and he could feel that his strength was declining rapidly. An elementalist without magic power is not much stronger than an ordinary person, especially on such a battlefield. Once the magic power is exhausted, any angel nearby can kill him. "Wait a minute, I surrender." Finally, the goblin chieftain felt fear and shouted to surrender. Compared with death and soul purification, believing in an evil god seems to be easier to accept. However, Yuta and others turned a deaf ear to it. The angel swords burning with golden flames flew in their hands one after another, slashing out brilliant cross-sword lights. "No!" the goblin chief screamed in despair. He waved his staff to resist, but found that he couldn't stop it at all. He couldn't escape. The next moment, he was drowned by cross-sword lights in despair and fear. Puff, puff, puff. Several sword lights pierced through the goblin chief's body. Sword marks 1/2 meter deep were left on the ground. The goblin chief's eyes widened, and his body was stiff in place. His vitality was madly fading, but he didn't die immediately, because the sword light was too sharp, and it didn't even take away a drop of blood when it pierced his body. Why? The goblin chief looked at Yuta and others standing in the air in disbelief. He didn't understand. He was clearly ready to surrender. He even shouted that he wanted to surrender. But these angels did not let him go. Could it be that he, a powerful 9th level elementalist, was not as good as those ordinary goblins? Yuta looked down at the goblin chief, and the expression on her beautiful face was cold. "The heretic who blasphemed my lord is not qualified to be blessed by the holy light." The goblin chief was stunned. It seemed that he had just called the Lord of Holy Light, who these angels believed in, an evil god. After thinking it through, he felt extremely regretful. But it was too late after all. At this time, a sharp pain came from all parts of his body. The goblin chief opened his mouth, as if he wanted to say something, but it was too late. His body collapsed like a pile of building blocks. The broken limbs and pieces of meat were scattered all over the ground. At the same time, a blueprint with a golden light fell out. "Chief, in the tribe," goblins screamed in grief. The sacrifice of the goblin chieftain made them very sad and heartbroken. Putting aside the fact that the goblin chieftain wanted to surrender but failed, they felt that the goblin chieftain had sacrificed for the glory of the tribe and the dignity of the goblin tribe. He deserved an honorable farewell. "What are you yelling about?" Clang, clang, clang. Swords were placed on the shoulders of the weeping tribal goblins. Suddenly, the crying stopped. The whole tribe was silent. All the goblins knelt on the ground obediently, and no one was allowed to cry. "Kiaozai, gather the goblins of the tribe. Vina, you lead a team of angels to clean up the battlefield. Other angels, come with me to purify the souls of these tribal goblins and spread the faith of our Lord." Commands were passed down from Yida's mouth. This tribal war is over, and the next step is to finish it off. The edge of the territory. Lin Yu also learned about the news that the Goblin tribe was captured by the Angel team. It was not because of the death of the Goblin chieftain, but because there was a message prompt from Wanji Floating Island. Dear Lord, your army team killed the Goblin chieftain Baril and captured all the goblins of the Goblin tribe. You successfully captured the Goblin tribe. Congratulations, you are the first professional on the island to capture the stronghold of the local forces, and your brilliant achievements will be recorded in the floating island. At the same time, you will receive the following rewards. Reward 1. 1,000 gold coins. Reward 2. 100 points of honor. Reward 3. 500 points of reputation. Reward 4. Your name and your brilliant achievements will shine in the island chat channel, inspiring other professionals to move forward bravely. Chapter 38. The more you look at the series of information prompts that appear in your mind, the more you will be rewarded. Lin Yu was surprised. He didn't expect that the floating island would give rewards to the first person who destroyed the base established by the local intelligent creatures, and there were 4 kinds of rewards. Just the 1,000 gold coins were enough to make Lin Yu sigh at the generous rewards. Not to mention the honor points and reputation points. From the time I landed on the floating island until now, my angels have killed thousands of wild monsters and defeated more than one high-level boss, but they have never received any honor or reputation. They only appeared suddenly after conquering the Goblin tribe, and they were given to me as the first reward for conquering a local stronghold. This shows a problem. It is very difficult to obtain honor and reputation, and they are even more precious. I just don't know what these 2 things are used for. At this moment, Lin Yu suddenly remembered something. He quickly stretched out his right hand. You can see that there is a red brand on his right wrist, which is the symbol of a professional, and it also has a teleportation function. There is an energy progress bar on the left side of the brand. It currently shows 34.6%. When the value of the energy progress bar reaches 100%, he can activate the brand and return to Blue Star. Of course, this is not the focus of Lin Yu's attention. He reached out and clicked the red mark, and a row of virtual buttons suddenly appeared in front of him, such as Island Chat Channel, Professional Trading Platform, and Friends Channel. These 3 are the ones Lin Yu often visits. In addition, there is also a Glory Contribution List. This is a list, but it has always been blank. At this moment, Lin Yu clicked in. As expected, his name was indeed on the list. And on the entire Glory Contribution List, there was only his name. Glory Contribution List. First place, Lin Yu, 100 points of glory. Professional Lord, no title. Second place, none. Third place, none. 100th place, none. One person dominates the list. It seems pretty awesome. I just don't know what the glory value is for, and what about the reputation value. In addition to 100 points of glory, Wanji Floating Island also awarded Lin Yu a full 500 points of reputation, which made Lin Yu feel that reputation value should not be as valuable as glory value. Lin Yu thought about it and communicated with Wanji Floating Island. Asked about the role and related information of glory value and reputation value. Soon, he got a reply from Wanji Floating Island. Glory value is one of the most precious things in Wanji Floating Island. You can use it to exchange for anything you want, including but not limited to special drawings, artifacts, original power, etc. Professionals who make outstanding contributions to the floating island will be rewarded with honor points. For example, Lin Yu, as the first professional to capture the local stronghold, has an outstanding record, and his contribution and difficulty are very high. So he was rewarded with honor points. The way to obtain reputation points is similar to that of honor points, but the difficulty is lower than obtaining honor points. The higher the reputation point, the more famous you are in the local world of the floating island. And the easier it is to get the local intelligent creatures to actively surrender. When establishing a kingdom, there are reputation points. After listening, Lin Yu has a specific understanding of honor points and reputation points. Let's not talk about reputation points. It doesn't matter whether he is famous or not. He has a super top level troop type, angels, and he is not obsessed with the active surrender of local intelligent creatures. The same is true for conquering by force. The main thing is to establish a kingdom, which requires a certain amount of reputation points. This is very important. But in general, the cost effectiveness of honor value is still higher than that of reputation value, because it can be used to exchange for things that professionals need. Then, Lin Yu found the exchange button on the honor contribution list. Clicking it, he saw the exchange items, which were densely packed and countless. Brave suit, king level. 500 honor value, secret cloak, holy level. 800 honor value, time and space ring, semi-artifact. 2000 honor value, curse of the Lich King, artifact. 5000 honor value, exclusive arms quantity drawing. 300 honor points, army evolution blueprint. 100 honor points, pharmacist mansion building blueprint. 300 honor points, top army building blueprint. 10,000 honor points, level 1 spiritual rice seed. 10 honor points, level 2 spiritual rice seed. 20 honor points, black bone blood vine, demon plant. 300 honor points, immortal flower, demon plant. 2,000 honor points. At a glance, there are countless rare items, from artifacts and top army building blueprints to level 1 spiritual rice seeds, that can be exchanged for only 10 honor points. The richness of the items simply made Lin Yu dumbfounded. His eyes were blurry. His mouth was watering. But the result was that he couldn't afford to exchange for most of the items. He only had a mere 100 honor points. There are even architectural blueprints for top-level troops. It's terrifying. Lin Yu looked at the item information on the exchange menu and couldn't help but take a breath. Architectural blueprints for top-level troops can be called the top treasure on the island. At this stage, Lord professionals, including Lin Yu, summon troops from the Lord Hall. Those are randomly obtained territory-exclusive troops and cannot be changed. As for army buildings, it is another way to summon troops. It is the same as the barracks in the game. After it is built through the blueprints, you can use gold coins to summon troops. Army buildings do not conflict with the troops summoned by the Lord Hall. It is just equivalent to an additional channel to summon other troops. And this kind of architectural blueprint, it can allow Lord professionals to change their fate. For example, a low-level lord can be directly promoted to top-level lord after owning an army building that can summon top-level troops. This is very scary. However, the probability of changing one's fate against all odds is pitifully low. Lin Yu has reason to believe that it is basically impossible for a professional to get top-level arms building blueprints by killing monsters. As for the top-level arms building blueprints, in the exchange menu, it requires a full 10,000 points of honor, which is more expensive than the artifact, Curse of the Lich King. So, just take a look. Lin Yu did not plan to collect 10,000 points of honor to exchange. In front of his only troop, the Angel, all top-level troop types are meaningless. I only have 100 points of honor now, and there are not many items that can be exchanged. Lin Yu is not in a hurry, he needs to study it carefully. If he really can't find the exchange item he likes, he can also save the existing honor points. A little bit makes a lot. Maybe one day, he will be able to exchange for the artifact and powerful demon plant inside. Just when Lin Yu was studying which item to exchange, the chat channel on the island was completely boiling. The reason is the fourth reward given to Lin Yu by the floating island. Your name and your brilliant achievements will shine in the chat channel on the island, inspiring other professionals to move forward bravely. What does this mean? This is similar to the world announcement in the game world. The world announcement has come out. How can the chat channel on the island not be boiling? After all, the first move of the floating island of all worlds is a king bomb. Chapter 39. The New Year is coming, and the New Year is coming. At this moment, at the top of the chat channel on the island, rows of golden characters are dazzling and shining. Congratulations to Lord Lin Yu for capturing the local power base, the Goblin Tribe. As the first Lord professional to capture the local power base, Lin Yu is rewarded with 1,000 gold coins, 100 points of honor, and 500 points of reputation. I hope all professionals can follow Lin Yu's example and make outstanding contributions to the unification of the floating island. These rows of golden characters are high on the top, shining and noble. Let every professional who enters the chat channel see them at the first time. This is the world announcement. It is also a way of becoming famous that any professional would envy. If there were still people who didn't know Lin Yu's name before, then now, there is no such person. Unless you don't enter the chat channel on the island. But obviously, this is impossible. Because whether it is bragging in the chat channel or collecting various information, this is the daily routine of professionals. So, Lin Yu is completely famous this time. His name was remembered by all the professionals on the island at this moment. It's simply known to everyone. famous throughout the floating island. The chat channel is also completely boiling. Fuck. It's actually a world announcement. I've never heard that there is a world announcement on the floating island. The first batch of veteran professionals who came to the floating island did not enjoy such treatment. That's true. When I was on Blue Star, I was in the professional forum every day, but I didn't hear that the floating island had issued a world announcement to any professional alone. Since when did the floating island also implement involution? Whether it is rolled up or not is not important. What is important is the content of the announcement. Is the strength of boss Lin Yu so terrifying? He actually captured a goblin tribe. I know goblins. They are low-level intelligent creatures on the floating island. No matter how low-level they are, it is still a tribe. Generally speaking, the weakest local strongholds are also guarded by level 9 monsters. In other words, boss Lin Yu's troops are so powerful that they can kill the level 9 boss. This is too strong. As a Lord Professional, I say that let alone the level 9 boss, even ordinary level 5 monsters, my troops can't beat them now. It's as if I'm not the same. God has mercy on me, a lord with advanced troops, and I'm still fighting a small number of wild wolves. At this stage, Lord Professionals are really at this level. At present, only the top lords have the strength to challenge level 5 or level 6 monsters. However, being able to kill level 6 monsters is already the best. For someone like Lin Yu, capturing a stronghold guarded by a level 9 local strongman is something that professionals dare not even think about. If it weren't for the world announcement to testify Lin Yu, absolutely no professional would believe that Lin Yu's strength has reached this level. Is there any big guy who can come out and estimate what kind of troops Master Lin Yu has? It's only the third day, and he has captured the local stronghold, which is simply incredible. Regarding this issue, I think the leader of the King's Hall has a lot of say. It seems that the leader of the King's Hall can't kill a local stronghold now, right? No need to seem. This is the fact. Ever since Big Brother Lin Yu put high-level and top-quality equipment on the shelves one after another, I knew that Big Brother Lin Yu's troops are definitely not ordinary. Lin Yu's troops must be the most powerful among the top troops. I envy Lin Yu. By the way, being able to get gold coins for free from the floating island is not something that ordinary people can do. A full 1,000 gold coins. Now, Lin Yu can summon 20 top troops again. Don't forget the rewards of honor and reputation. These two are good things and are more valuable than gold coins. Especially honor. I just opened the honor contribution list, and there is only Lin Yu in it. I also saw that Lin Yu ranked first in the honor contribution list, and there was no one behind him. My envy of Lin Yu has changed me beyond recognition. Changed beyond recognition +1, +10086. Grassland, the territory of the Golden Behemoth Lord. The Golden Behemoth troops in the territory have been sent out to hunt. The Golden Behemoth Lord is the only one left in the entire territory. At this moment, the young man looked at the lively island chat channel and the dazzling world announcement, and his face was distorted. Jealousy, horror, disbelief. Various negative expressions appeared on his face. It made his already plain face even uglier. How is this possible? Even if Lin Yu's top troops are stronger than my Golden Behemoth, he can't capture a local intelligent creature's base so quickly. A local strongman with a level of 9. Is this something that professionals at this stage can challenge? The young man widened his eyes, with a look of horror and shock. For his Golden Behemoth team, it will take at least a week before they can challenge a level 9 strongman. On the other hand, Lin Yu has done it now. He couldn't understand why Lin Yu's troops were so strong. Some people had previously speculated that Lin Yu's troops could already hunt monsters at night, not to mention that, in a blink of an eye, Lin Yu even broke through the stronghold of local intelligent creatures. What kind of troops can grow so fast? Or is it that Lin Yu's troops have an initial level of more than level 4? This is even more impossible. Because the initial level of the top troops is level 4. What kind of troops have an initial level of more than level 4? God level troops? I can't go on like this. I must seek other ways to develop quickly, otherwise it will be difficult for me to catch up with Lin Yu. As a top lord, Lin Yu has been driving at high speed. Although his territory and troops are also developing and growing, compared with Lin Yu's speeding, his speed may only be 80 miles per hour. It won't take long, he may not even see Lin Yu's taillights. So, he must find a way to step on the gas. But the question is, what can he do? Should he collect another wave of gold coins in the alliance to expand his Golden Behemoth team? It seems, probably, possibly. There is really only this one way. It's not just the young man who feels the crisis. Other top professionals on the island also have a huge sense of urgency. Especially those professionals who are determined to compete for the position of the owner of the floating island. All of them are extremely anxious. The faster Lin Yu runs, the bigger the gap between them and Lin Yu. It will be more difficult to seize the position of the island owner in the future. Under this pressure, every top professional is frantically trying to find a way to speed up the improvement of their own strength, so as not to be left too far behind by Lin Yu. Not to mention being able to surpass Lin Yu. But at least they have to be able to see the taillights of Lin Yu after the mad rush. Otherwise, they would be completely screwed. At this time, a message appeared in the chat channel on the island, which once again aroused heated discussions among countless professionals. The content of the message was very intuitive. Lin Yu was the first to capture the base of the local forces and received a generous reward from the floating island. So, will the first to upgrade the territory, the first to capture the wild gold mine, the first to be promoted to the king-level professional? Will the floating island also give corresponding rewards? As soon as the news came out, the chat channel on the island was in an uproar. Countless professionals quickly discussed the relevant information in the channel. And in a short period of time, the fence blueprints and arrow tower blueprints sold on the island trading platform were scrambled for by some lord professionals. They felt that this news was very reliable. And the reason for scrambling for the fence blueprints and arrow tower blueprints was because they all wanted to be the first to upgrade the territory and eat the second crab. But soon, these lord professionals were confused again. What if they got the fence blueprint and arrow tower blueprint? They don't have the warehouse blueprint. Fence, arrow tower, warehouse. These are the three necessary buildings for the territory to be upgraded to intermediate village. They are indispensable. But on the trading platform, there is no trading information for warehouse blueprint. The explosion rate of warehouse blueprint is lower than that of fence and arrow tower blueprint. It's okay, no rush, no warehouse blueprint has appeared, and Lin Yu must not have it either. I still have a chance to get this reward? This is the thought of many lord professionals, or perhaps they are comforting themselves. Chapter 40. The old man was in a hurry, and the old man was in a hurry. At this time, the alliance channel of the King's Hall was very lively. As the most powerful professional alliance on the island, the number of members of the King's Hall has exceeded 150,000. This is a very scary number. If all these alliance members can be used by the Golden Behemoth Lord, then he will have a great advantage in the future battle to seize the island. It is precisely because of this. So sometimes, the Golden Behemoth Lord does not take Lin Yu seriously at all, thinking that he is just temporarily behind. With the support of the King's Hall, he will be able to surpass Lin Yu sooner or later. At this moment, the alliance channel of the King's Hall was in a huge ripple because of the words of the Golden Behemoth Lord. This young lord is doing something out of this world again. This time, he did not use the excuse of forming a core team to collect gold coins from alliance members, nor did he ask for loans, but directly raised funds through crowdfunding. He felt that with his prestige as a top lord and leader, it was completely okay to raise some gold coins through crowdfunding within the alliance. After all, if you can raise funds through crowdfunding, why bother borrowing? Borrowed gold coins must be repaid. Moreover, borrowing gold coins requires signing a contract, and under the witness of the power of the rules of the floating island, he cannot not pay them back. Unfortunately, the Golden Behemoth Lord still overestimated himself. As soon as his crowdfunding plan came out, it was directly resisted by many alliance members. Our leader is really impressive. The leaders of other alliances are also borrowing gold coins. The leader of our alliance is raising funds through crowdfunding. He is just trying to get something for nothing. He would never do such a thing if he hadn't drunk 3 pounds of wine. No one's gold coins are blown by the wind. Every gold coin is dripping with the sweat and even blood of our combat professionals. Loaning gold coins is fine, but crowdfunding is fine. Countless similar messages appeared in the alliance channel. The Golden Behemoth Lord was immediately confused. Is his face as a top lord so worthless? Such a large alliance with more than 150,000 alliance members can't even raise enough gold coins to buy 2 building blueprints? Yes, he also wants to be the first professional to upgrade the territory, then get rewards from the floating island. However, he doesn't value the gold coins and reputation in the rewards. He only values world announcement and glory value. These 2 things can greatly enhance his prestige on the island, thereby attracting more professionals to join his alliance, Hall of Kings. He admitted that he might not be able to beat Lin Yu in terms of military types. However, he held the trump card of Hall of Kings. As long as he held on to this trump card, he would be able to defeat Lin Yu and other top professionals in the future and win the position of the island master of the floating island in one fell swoop. However, it seemed that something went wrong. In the alliance, his face was of no use at all. No alliance member was willing to stand up and support him, even the core team members he formed. Seeing that the public opinion within the alliance had a one-sided trend, the Golden Behemoth Lord was also afraid and quickly changed his words and claimed that it was not crowdfunding gold coins, but borrowing. Only then did he suppress those chaotic voices. In the end, he successfully borrowed thousands of gold coins. Alliance leader, the price of fence blueprints and arrow tower blueprints is rising too fast. It is not worth buying at all. The most important thing is that there is no warehouse blueprint yet. If someone gets the warehouse blueprint, upgrades the territory first and gets the reward, the alliance leader will lose a lot of money. Warehouse blueprints are too hard to come by. Don't be afraid of 10,000, just be prepared. Lin Yu, I suspect you are talking about me. The Golden Behemoth Lord ignored the voice in the alliance channel. As soon as he got thousands of gold coins, he opened the island trading platform and bought a fence blueprint and an arrow tower blueprint, respectively. The prices of the two blueprints have been rising. If you wait a little longer, you will have to pay more gold coins. But even so, the Golden Behemoth Lord was still heartbroken. Damn, these maggot-hearted profiteers. In a short while, the price of the blueprint has risen by more than half. He was very angry and felt that he had lost 100 million. But in the end, the blueprint was in hand, and there was still money left. More than 2,000 gold coins. Now let's see when the first warehouse blueprint comes out. When the time comes, no matter how much it costs, I will get the warehouse blueprint. This time, I must not let Lin Yu get ahead again, the Golden Behemoth Lord said to himself angrily, vowing to avenge his previous shame through a wave of world announcement. Lin Yu sighed. He has closed the exchange menu for honor items. After looking at it for a long time, his 100 points of honor value have never been spent. It is really difficult to choose, and I don't know which one to exchange. In fact, there are not many items you can choose. For example, the Army Evolution Blueprint, worth 100 points of honor, the Low-Level Equipment Blueprint, worth 50 points of honor, and the cheaper Spirit Rice Seeds, etc. But no matter which item he exchanges, he feels a little bit of a loss. In his opinion, the difficulty of obtaining honor points is so high that it should be used to exchange for rarer items so as not to bury its value. Ordinary items can be bought on the trading platform. There is no need to exchange it with honor points. Even the Army Evolution Blueprint, that could make the army evolve, is the same. He checked the information of the Army Evolution Blueprint. At first glance, it's awesome. At second glance, it's a headache. His army angel can also evolve through this blueprint, but there is a probability of success and failure when evolving. If it fails, Lin Yu will lose 100 honor points. So after struggling for a long time, he finally couldn't do it. After looking at the lively island chat channel and the high top announcement of the big golden world, Lin Yu came to the next door island trading platform with a satisfied look. No warehouse blueprint has been released, but they are all scrambling for fence and arrow tower blueprints. These people are really crazy. Fortunately, my warehouse has been built. While speaking, Lin Yu took another look at the auction of gold leather armor. There are less than 3 minutes left before the auction ends. The bidding price of gold leather armor has soared to 1,070 gold coins, which is higher than any level 5 top-grade equipment that has been sold. The transaction price is more than 1,000 gold coins. The floating island has rewarded me with another 1,000 gold coins, plus the harvest from conquering the goblin tribe. I have to say that today is a day of great harvest. Lin Yu smiled happily and was in a very good mood. At this time, he received another message from Wanji Floating Island. Dear Lord, your troops have occupied the core building of the goblin tribe, the conference hall. You can choose to destroy it or occupy it. Choose to occupy it, and the goblin tribe will become your second territory. Choose to destroy, and the goblin tribe will become a ruin and become a no man's land. In this process, you will have the opportunity to obtain relevant drawings of the goblin tribe, Destroying the base of the local forces will have a high probability of obtaining blueprints, including but not limited to territory buildings. In addition to building blueprints, other blueprints may also be obtained. It's just that the probability is a little lower. And this information was collected by Lin Yu on the professional forum of Blue Star earlier. So he did not hesitate and decisively chose to destroy it. As for occupying the Goblin tribe, it is meaningless to him now. Congratulations, Lord Lin Yu. You successfully destroyed the Goblin tribe. You have gained hatred from the goblins. You have obtained 3 arrow tower blueprints, 1 fence blueprint, 1 warehouse blueprint, 5 wooden house blueprints, and a silver level base treasure chest. Looking at the series of information prompts that appeared in his mind, Lin Yu only had one thought left. He made a fortune. Chapter 41. The harvest was so great that the harvest was so great. Compared to the harvest, offending the goblins was nothing. Even if the Goblin tribe was not destroyed, the professionals who came to the floating island were hostile to the local forces, including the goblins. So, hostility could not scare Lin Yu at all. He was now immersed in great joy. 1 fence blueprint and 1 warehouse blueprint each, 3 arrow tower blueprints, and 5 wooden house blueprints. In addition, I got a silver level stronghold treasure chest. It's really a big profit. At this moment, Lin Yu couldn't suppress the smile on his face. Fence blueprints are finally in hand. I can build fences now, upgrade the territory to an intermediate village, and unlock the right to summon 4 winged angels. If there are rewards for the first upgraded territory, this reward will belong to me. Warehouse blueprints are also good things. I already have a warehouse building, but I can definitely sell it. Lin Yu smiled and said, aren't those top bosses and alliance leaders all scrambling to upgrade their territories and then get rewards from the floating island? However, there are only fence and arrow tower blueprints on the trading platform. There are no warehouse blueprints with lower explosion rates for sale. If I put this warehouse blueprint on the trading platform, it is likely to sell at an amazing price, which is higher than the value of the snake armor. In addition, the wooden house blueprint is also in hand. I just don't know how many wooden houses can be built with 5 wooden house blueprints. Some blueprints can be used multiple times. For example, arrow tower blueprint. An arrow tower blueprint can be used 3 times to build 3 arrow towers. Lin Yu felt that the most basic blueprints like wooden house can also be reused, and the number of uses may be more than that of arrow tower blueprint. Finally, and most importantly, silver level stronghold treasure box. This was the first time that Lin Yu heard of the stronghold treasure box. Even on the Blue Star professional forum, no one had revealed any information about the stronghold treasure box. Could it be that the stronghold treasure box is also a new thing on the floating island? It's not impossible. After all, isn't the world announcement a newly unlocked function of the floating island? A year ago, the first batch of veteran professionals who descended on other floating islands never enjoyed the treatment of the world announcement. Whether it was the first to capture the stronghold of the local forces, the first to upgrade the territory, or other, there was no world announcement at all. At most, it was a default reward of honor points and reputation points. So it is very likely that the stronghold treasure box is also an item added by the floating island. I just don't know what's in the treasure chest of this stronghold. Lin Yu is full of expectations for opening the treasure chest. But it can't be opened now. Because whether it is the blueprint or the treasure chest, all of them were exploded when the Goblin tribe was destroyed. Now they are still in the Goblin tribe, and they need to wait for Yuta and the others to bring the things back. Lin Yu thought about it and communicated with Wanji Floating Island. Inquire about the information about the stronghold treasure chest. Soon, he got a reply from Wanji Floating Island, stronghold treasure chest. Rare items can only be obtained when the local power stronghold is destroyed. The levels of the stronghold treasure chest are from low to high, namely bronze, silver, gold, diamond, colorful crystal, god level, and super god level. The stronger the stronghold force destroyed, the higher the level of the treasure chest obtained. The items in the treasure chest appear randomly, including but not limited to gold coins, basic resources, blueprints, equipment, crop seeds, etc. The higher the level of the treasure chest, the higher the value of the random items. The highest level, super god level stronghold treasure chest. I wonder how powerful a local force needs to be destroyed to obtain a treasure chest of this level? Could it be a local kingdom? In addition, there are bronze level stronghold treasure chests. In other words, the Goblin tribe is not the weakest among all the local forces. Some local forces are weaker than the goblin tribe, otherwise, I would not get a silver treasure chest, but a bronze treasure chest, no more thought. What Lin Yu has to do now is to wait for the angel team to bring back the spoils. Territory. At that time, whether it is upgrading the territory, putting warehouse blueprints on the shelves, or opening the base treasure chest, they can all be done one by one. At this time, Wanji Floating Island sent another message reminder. The content of the message is very simple, just to inform Lin Yu that the equipment, gold leather armor, he put on the shelves has been successfully auctioned, and the final transaction price is 1,140 gold coins. Really good, the price is exactly twice that of other level 5 top quality equipment. It is also beyond my expectations. Lin Yu's intuition was not wrong, and this gold leather armor did give him a surprise. In addition, the skull sword that was put on the shelves at the same time was also sold. The final transaction price was 270 gold coins. It is much cheaper than gold leather armor. After all, it is one level lower, and it is still an ordinary equipment without special effects. On the other hand, although gold leather armor is only a mere level 5 equipment, its special effect, camouflage, is a god-level skill at this stage. If used well, it may soar to the sky. This is why someone would spend such a high price to bid it away. At the same time, the chat channel on the island has become more lively. Many professionals are talking about the gold leather armor that Lin Yu just auctioned off. Some people think that the price is a bit high, but it is worth it. Some people also think that bidding such a high price for a level 5 equipment is purely insane. A level 5 equipment was auctioned for a sky-high price of more than 1,000 gold coins. Boss Lin Yu can be said to have made a lot of money. With a gold coin reward of the floating island in front, Boss Lin Yu can summon dozens of top-level soldiers this time, which is simply terrifying. I still can't figure out why so many people are fighting for a level 5 equipment, and it was sold at such an astonishingly high price. I don't understand it either. Is it because he is stupid and has a lot of money? The person above, don't expose your pitiful IQ in the world. It is clearly stated in the equipment introduction of the ghoul leather armor that after wearing it, you can disguise yourself as a ghoul and not be seen through by undead creatures below level 5. Do you know what this means? It means that with a ghoul leather armor, you can go out hunting at night, as long as you're careful and don't encounter high-level undead monsters. The upgrade speed will definitely increase, compared to the improvement of your own level. Gold coins are nothing, you are not a lord. Fuck, this is alright, of course. Otherwise why would so many big guys participate in the auction? Isn't it because of its camouflage skill that can speed up the upgrade speed? Fuck. I said before that those bidders were all crazy, but now I realize that I am the stupid one. Oh my god, why didn't I think of that? Is it useful to think of it? Do you have so many gold coins? Can you rob those big guys? Young man, know yourself, this is not something you can control. Time soon came to noon. The angel team finally returned to the territory. There were a total of 58 double-winged angels, all of them returned. In addition, there were more than 500 goblin believers, who were escorting a large amount of food, basic resources, and various monster materials, metal materials, etc. All these things were seized from the goblin tribe. These spoils alone are enough to be called a bumper harvest, not to mention the more than 300 new goblin believers, as well as many blueprints, gold coins, equipment and other gains. It really is a war to get rich. Lord, after returning to the territory, Yuta led the angel team to meet Lin Yu and handed over the spoils to Lin Yu. Gold coins, blueprints, equipment. Among them was the silver-level stronghold treasure chest that Lin Yu was looking forward to the most. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 42. The treasure chest was silvery white. It was a rectangular, flat shape, and about 40 centimeters long. It didn't look big, and it was light when held in the arms. I shook it a few times, but didn't hear any sound. It was as if there was nothing inside. However, the items in the extraordinary world cannot be viewed with normal thinking. A warehouse that looks not much bigger than a wooden house can store a full 100,000 units of various resources. It is obvious that the space is compressed. There must be a special space inside the treasure chest. Let's see how lucky I am. Lin Yu put the treasure chest on the floor of the hall, blew on his hands, and then rubbed them back and forth, like a gambler at the gambling table. But then again, opening a treasure chest is a gamble on luck. Floating Island said that the items in the treasure chest appear randomly. If you are lucky, you may get something good. Silver level stronghold treasure chests are only one level higher than bronze treasure chests. Even if you are lucky, it is difficult to get high level items. Unless it is a gold treasure chest or a diamond treasure chest, but no matter what, this treasure chest is almost an extra gift from the floating island. It's equivalent to getting it for free. Whatever comes out is acceptable. Lin Yu first gave himself a wave of psychological counseling to avoid the higher expectations and greater disappointment. Then, he stretched his right hand towards the treasure chest. Just as he was about to touch the treasure chest lock, a virtual message prompt appeared in his field of vision. Do you want to open the current treasure chest? Yes, no. Lin Yu was stunned when he saw the prompt. He thought he had to use brute force to break the treasure chest lock, but he didn't expect there was such a function. This is much more convenient. He immediately chose yes. Suddenly, with a series of clicks, the treasure chest lock was automatically unlocked. Then, the lid of the treasure chest slowly opened. A series of golden lights flew out of the treasure chest and fell on the floor of the hall. At the same time, a series of information prompts appeared in Lin Yu's mind. Congratulations, Lord Lin Yu. You have successfully opened a silver-level stronghold treasure chest. You get 1,000 units of food, wood, stone, and iron ore each. You get a drawing of the number of goblin troops. You get a drawing of low-level equipment. You get 300 gold coins. You get a small bottle of original energy. So many things were opened: resources, gold coins, blueprints, and even a small bottle of origin energy. Since there was no comparison, Lin Yu didn't know whether he was lucky or unlucky to open these things. But it didn't matter. What mattered was that he was very happy and satisfied. When I open a few more stronghold treasure chests in the future, I will know whether I was lucky or unlucky this time. Lin Yu didn't think about it anymore, and immediately stored the total of 4,000 units of food and various basic resources he opened into the warehouse of the territory. The 300 gold coins were also put away. The remaining were 2 blueprints and a small bottle of origin energy. Origin energy is a necessity for professionals and soldiers to upgrade their levels, and it is often a reward after killing monsters. This small bottle of origin energy is equivalent to an experience bottle. You can gain experience by drinking it. Among the items exchanged with honor points, there is also origin energy. But it is a large bottle, and the price is very high. Lin Yu's mere 100 honor points can't afford it at all. I wonder how much experience this small bottle of origin energy can give me. Lin Yu looked at the small crystal bottle in his hand. There was some liquid in the bottle, and golden light could be seen flashing in the liquid. At the same time, the information of the crystal bottle also appeared: original energy, portion, small portion, quality, low level, usage conditions, only for low-level professionals, introduction, it can help low-level professionals to advance a full level, but as a low-quality origin energy, it is not suitable for intermediate professionals and professionals of higher levels. Only low-level professionals can use it. Isn't this tailor-made for me? Lin Yu was very happy. Last night, his level was promoted to level 3, but he was still at the stage of a low-level professional. Only when the level reaches level 4 can it be considered an intermediate professional. In other words, he can use this bottle of origin energy, source energy, thereby directly raising his level to level 4, achieving a complete level leap. Similarly, angels cannot use it, because the lowest level angels are all level 5. Lin Yu did not hesitate, and immediately unscrewed the lid of the crystal bottle and drank the light golden liquid in the bottle in one gulp. Soon, a huge amount of energy exploded in Lin Yu's body, and filled his whole body in the blink of an eye, and forcibly transformed his body in a very domineering way. This process was very painful. Lin Yu almost cried out in pain. But when he thought of the angels such as Yida and Sally staring at him with reverence, he immediately clenched his teeth. You can cry at any time, but not now. The Lord of Holy Light also needs face. I don't know how long it took. The pain in the body finally began to ease until it disappeared. At that moment, Lin Yu felt like he had entered heaven, seeing the light of day again, and his heart was so happy. Then he opened his information template and took a look. As expected, his level had been promoted to level 4, the early stage of level 4. Those who are happy and in pain, I hope to have this opportunity to cross levels 100 times again. Lin Yu grinned, not caring about his clothes being wet with sweat, and cast his eyes on the two drawings from the treasure chest, drawing of the number of goblin troops, level, intermediate, introduction. After using this drawing, you will get 300 goblin troops, including goblin warriors, elite goblin warriors, and goblin warriors. Equipment drawing, level, low level, introduction. This drawing can give your territory building, blacksmith shop the ability to create various low-level equipment, and the level does not exceed level 3. At this moment, Lin Yu felt that he was a son of luck. He had all the building drawings and equipment drawings of the blacksmith shop. In addition, the angel team has also found the 3 goblin blacksmiths described by Lun and brought them back to the territory. Everything is ready, nothing is missing. He can now start mass-producing equipment. Although only low-level equipment can be produced, it is just right for combat professionals at this stage. Let alone level 3, most combat professionals have not even reached level 2. Once the equipment I mass-produced is put on the shelves, it will definitely be popular. The door to making money is open to me. Lin Yu was excited. If he makes money, he can summon more angels. For him, today is definitely a day of great harvest. Lord, this time we captured the goblin tribe. We also gained 76 gold coins, 2 pieces of equipment, and a blueprint. In addition to these, the rest are the resources stored by the goblin tribe, more than 13,800 units of food, 6,400 units of wood, 4,080 units of stone. The amount of iron ore is the least, only more than 1,500 units. Yida is reporting other spoils to Lin Yu. Among them, it does not include the building blueprints obtained by destroying the goblin tribe, and the items opened from the silver-level stronghold treasure box. In addition, there are the goblins of the tribe. Except for a few who were killed, such as the goblin chieftain and a dozen high-level goblins, most of the other goblins have surrendered and have become your believers. Well done. Lin Yu nodded and expressed his appreciation. Only 76 gold coins were harvested, which is really not much. After all, the angel team did not kill many goblins in this attack on the goblin tribe. However, other resources were fully loaded. Especially the nearly 14,000 units of food, which was a great harvest, enough for the goblin believers in the territory to eat for a long time. Bring those 2 pieces of equipment and the blueprint to me, Lin Yu said to Yida. He learned from the kill information that the blueprint was exploded from the goblin chief. This made him full of expectations. After all, the goblin chief is a level 9 big boss, and the things he exploded must be good. Chapter 43. The 2 pieces of equipment and a blueprint were handed over to Lin Yu. 2 pieces of equipment, 1 piece of armor, and 1 spear. Goblin commander armor, type, defensive equipment, defense level, level 8, durability. 100, special effect, deterrence, introduction. This is equipment made by a senior blacksmith of the goblin clan. Only goblins at the commander level are qualified to wear it. When a professional wears it, it will have a certain degree of deterrence against ordinary goblins. Goblin, lance of courage, type, attack equipment, damage level, level 7, durability. 100, special effect, aura of courage, introduction. The lance of courage is a masterpiece of a goblin blacksmith. It comes with an aura of courage. No matter how timid and cowardly a goblin is, once equipped with a lance of courage, he will become ready to die. Special reminder, do not equip it before you are strong enough, otherwise you may die on the road to charge. Professional skill blueprint, fire dragon technique, type, fire elemental magic, level, advanced, learning requirements, none, introduction, do not overestimate yourself. This is a high-level fire elemental magic. Even if you learn it, you may not be able to successfully release it. 2 pieces of equipment, 1 level 8 defense equipment, 1 level 7 attack equipment. All of them are top-grade equipment with special effects, and there is also a high-level magic skill blueprint. Lin Yu couldn't help but sigh again. This attack on the goblin tribe is really a wave of fat. No wonder on the professional forum of Blue Star, there are often professionals bragging, claiming that their team has made so much money after conquering a certain stronghold. Now that he has experienced it personally, Lin Yu must admit it. This is indeed not bragging, but a fact. The stronghold of local forces can really make professionals realize the dream of getting rich overnight. He is now rich. Looking at the entire floating island, there is absolutely no professional who can be richer than he is now. Just the gold coins he has on him are almost 3,000. As for various basic resources, there are too many to use up. In addition, There are blueprints, equipment. These gains are almost all related to conquering the Goblin tribe. Lin Yu put Goblin Commander Armor and Goblin Courage Spear on the trading platform as usual. The former is priced at 5,000 gold coins. The latter is priced at 3,000 gold coins. All are flash sale prices. If no one buys it, then the auction will be held at this time tomorrow. Lin Yu did not plan to sell these two pieces of equipment today, because he would sell the warehouse blueprint later. If rich people bid for these two pieces of equipment and there is no gold to compete for the warehouse blueprint, then he would lose a lot. As for professional skill blueprint, Fire Dragon Technique, Lin Yu plans to use it himself. Fire Dragon Technique is a high-level fire element magic, which is not only powerful, but also has no restrictions on learning conditions. Even non-elementalists can learn it. He naturally does not want to sell it. What's more, no professional can afford it now. The value of Fire Dragon Technique has exceeded the combined value of the Goblin Commander Armor, the Gun of Courage, and even the Snake Armor and the Ghoul Leather Armor. If the price is less than 10,000 gold coins, it will be a huge loss. After all, this is a high-level skill for professionals. Without hesitation, Lin Yu immediately chose to use the Fire Dragon Technique blueprint. Suddenly, the blueprint disappeared and turned into countless golden lights that poured into Lin Yu's forehead. At the same time, Lin Yu's mind was filled with countless information about Fire Dragon Technique, and he soon successfully mastered this high-level elemental magic. Try it, Lin Yu's mind moved, and he released the Fire Dragon Technique. In an instant, the energy in his body surged, and the fire element magic between heaven and earth began to vibrate. A moment later, a blazing flame emerged from the palm of his right hand. The flame expanded rapidly, as if it was about to turn into a fire dragon. But at this moment, Lin Yu's body shook, his face suddenly turned pale, and the blazing flame in his palm was extinguished in an instant. Lord, Yida and Sally exclaimed. The two beautiful angels hurried forward, supporting Lin Yu on the left and right. I'm fine. Lin Yu waved his hands, took a deep breath, and tried his best to suppress the energy elements that were collapsing in his body. I was careless. I also overestimated myself, Lin Yu said. The reminder of the floating island is correct. Even though I have mastered the Fire Dragon Technique now, I can't release it successfully because my level is too low. The low level means less energy elements in the body. It can't support the powerful magic runes of the Fire Dragon Technique, and it can't gather enough fire element energy to condense a fire dragon. At least, my level must reach level 7 to be released successfully. Lin Yu summarized the main reasons for his failure. The low level is a flaw. Yida looked at Lin Yu, whose face was gradually becoming rosy but still a little pale, and couldn't help saying, Lord, you don't actually need to learn these things. Whatever you want to do, just tell us directly. We, the angels, are your most devout believers. We will always follow you and serve you loyally. That's different. Lin Yu smiled and said, you are you, and I am me. As a professional, I also hope to master powerful power. What's more, maybe I will return to Blue Star soon. Before that, I must make myself stronger. Blue Star? Yida looked puzzled. Lin Yu said, Blue Star is a secular world, not a floating island. Most of the humans there are ordinary people, and only a few are professionals. However, although the number of professionals is not large, their level is very high. Some even reach the king level and extraordinary level. Lin Yu thought of the beautiful class teacher Su. Su Yi's level should be the king level, or even higher. She is the first professional to be summoned. She has been developing on other floating islands for a whole year. Even if she is promoted to the extraordinary level, Lin Yu will not be surprised. Is Blue Star the home planet of the Lord? Yes, Lin Yu nodded. Seeing this, Yida, Sally and others' eyes suddenly lit up, and they hurriedly asked, Lord, can we go to Blue Star with you? Hearing this, Lin Yu was stunned. It seems that he has never considered this issue. He thought about it and said, it should not be possible. I have never heard of any Lord professional bringing his subordinates back to Blue Star. Seeing Yida and others showing disappointment, Lin Yu comforted, but nothing is absolute. Maybe it's just that the strength has not reached that level. Wait until the strength is improved. Maybe you can go to Blue Star and join me. Hearing this, hope rekindled on the angels' beautiful faces. They probably can't do it now. But after becoming gods, it's not certain. Maybe at that time, they can really follow the Lord to Blue Star. Meanwhile, Lin Yu was communicating with the floating island of 10,000 worlds in private. Rather than guessing out of thin air, it would be better to seek answers directly from the floating island. Chapter 44. The old man was buried in the sea, and the old man was buried. Lin Yu always knew that professionals could bring some items from the floating island back to Blue Star. For example, spiritual rice was brought back by a lord professional and sold it to the rich on Blue Star at a high price, so he became rich overnight. Live in a villa, drive a luxury car, play with beautiful women. In addition, there are equipment, gold coins and other items. In the past, when I was in class, a red staff would appear in the hands of the class teacher Sue from time to time. That was the equipment she brought back from the floating island. I just don't know if the arms can be brought into Blue Star. Lin Yu didn't wait for long. Soon, he got a reply from Wanji Floating Island, teleporting troops to Blue Star. The Lord needs to pay a teleportation fee of 5,000 gold coins for each troop. Only when the troop becomes an immortal god can it break the restrictions and use its own divine power to travel between the two worlds. So that's it. Lin Yu suddenly realized, no wonder I haven't heard of any lord professional bringing troops back to Blue Star before. The reason is that the teleportation fee is too expensive. After all, only immortal gods can break the world for free, and with 5,000 gold coins for one teleportation quota. I'm afraid no lord professional will not feel bad. This amount of gold coins can summon a full 100 top troop types. Therefore, unless there are extremely special circumstances, lord professionals will most likely not teleport troops to Blue Star. Of course, Lin Yu thinks there is another reason. That is, there are too few people who randomly go to lord profession in the first batch. Su Da's class teacher said that among the first batch of more than 1 million professionals, there were only more than 100 lord professionals, and they were scattered all over the world. Counting those dead lord professionals, how many are left? With a small number, the information about lord professionals revealed is naturally less. Perhaps, there are really lord professionals who spent a high price to teleport troops to Blue Star, but they just didn't reveal it to let ordinary people know. I would like to bring these angels back to Blue Star, but the problem is, I can't afford to teleport. Looking at all the professionals on the island, Lin Yu is also the richest one. However, he has never seen what it feels like when 5,000 gold coins are piled together. We can only talk about it later. Lin Yu thought about it and asked, Wanji Floating Island, again, except for troops, can other things be brought back to Blue Star? Limited to personal belongings of professionals, limited to personal belongings? That's very strange. How did those lord professionals bring the spiritual rice back to Blue Star? After all, it's impossible to bring only a little bit. At least hundreds of kilograms or thousands of kilograms at a time. Can this be used as a personal belonging? It seems that he thought of something. Lin Yu hurriedly communicated with Wanji Floating Island. Is there some kind of professional equipment on the island that can hold a large number of items? It's similar to the function of a base treasure chest, space equipment, which can hold a large number of items. Lin Yu suddenly realized that he had guessed it right. Space equipment is a personal belonging. Put the spiritual rice or other things into space equipment, and then wear space equipment on yourself. Can't you avoid the restrictions of the floating island? Decision. The next goal is to explode the space equipment. Lin Yu is very interested in this kind of magical equipment that only exists in the world of novels, and with the space equipment, it is also very convenient to store items. For example, this war with the goblin tribe. If Yida had space equipment, she could store the captured resources in the space equipment and bring them directly back to the territory without the need for labor transportation. It was slow and prone to accidents. Then, Lin Yu integrated all the remaining harvests, excluding food, as well as basic resources such as wood, stone, and iron or total gold coins. 2,786, 1,000 plus 1,140 plus 270 plus 300 plus 76 equals 2,786. 12 blueprints, including 3 arrow tower blueprints, 5 wooden house blueprints, 1 warehouse blueprint, 1 fence blueprint, 1 goblin troop number blueprint, and 1 low-level equipment blueprint. New goblin believers. 385. Among them, 1 is a level 8 goblin leader, 2 level 7 goblin warriors, and less than 100 goblin warriors. Spectacular profits. Lin Yu took out a warehouse blueprint first and prepared to put it on the island's trading platform. I am selling the warehouse blueprint now. Other professionals will definitely guess that I have built a warehouse, Otherwise they will definitely not sell such a precious blueprint. In this way, those professionals who want to be the first to upgrade the territory will probably not bid high, because they know that they can't be faster than me. We have to think of a way. Lin Yu thought for a moment. He thought he could find a professional to help him auction the warehouse blueprint. In this way, his name will not be displayed on the transaction information, and no one will know that the warehouse blueprint came from him. There is also a candidate, that is, the professional who used the blacksmith shop blueprint to exchange for the fine steel sword with him before. As long as the contract is signed, there is no need to worry about problems. At most, after the auction is over, I will give that professional a red envelope to express my gratitude. This is a backup plan. First, ask the floating island whether the trading platform can hide the information of the owner of the item. If it is possible, there is no need to find that professional. Thinking of this, Lin Yu contacted Wanji Floating Island again and asked for relevant information. Wanji Floating Island did not find him troublesome and replied to him quickly. It means that the owner of the item can choose to hide if he wants. It is equivalent to protecting personal privacy. From this, it can be seen that Wanji Floating Island is very flexible and not rigid. It would be best if it can be hidden. Lin Yu put the warehouse drawing on the island's trading platform and hid his information. After hiding the item owner, that appeared in the transaction column was a series of. However, this can only be hidden until the auction is over. The reason is simple. I want to upgrade the territory at the moment the auction ends. If I upgrade too early, if there is a world announcement, the warehouse blueprint will not be able to sell at a high price. If I upgrade too late, the reward may be snatched away by bidders. But no matter what, others will guess that I took the warehouse blueprint out for auction. Otherwise the timing would not be so coincidental. So, it can only be hidden for a while, but it doesn't matter. I'm not afraid of being remembered. I'm even less afraid of being hated. I just need to grasp the time well and maximize the value of the warehouse blueprint. The auction time for warehouse blueprint is 1 hour. It's enough for Lin Yu to do his thing. It's also enough for those lords to raise more gold coins. Without thinking about it anymore, Lin Yu took out the goblin army quantity blueprint and chose to use it. As the blueprint turned into countless golden lights and disappeared, a large group of goblins suddenly appeared out of thin air in the small square of the territory not far away. These goblins summoned by the blueprints were all fully armed. In terms of momentum, they obviously surpassed the goblin believers in the territory. Praise the Lord, I am willing to swear allegiance to the Lord until death. 300 elite goblins knelt on the ground in unison and cast their extremely fanatical eyes on Lin Yu. If Lin Yu asked them to die now, they would definitely not hesitate. The other goblin believers were also stunned when they saw this scene. They couldn't believe that the Great Lord could actually summon a fully armed team of goblins out of thin air. Is this the legendary miracle? Chapter 45. The 300 elite goblins summoned were at least level 4. They were fully armed, in high spirits, and even released a strong fighting spirit, which was much stronger than the goblin believers in the territory. After all, they were elites summoned using blueprints. They were very different from native intelligent creatures such as goblin believers. 300 elite goblins, including 200 level 4 goblin warriors, 80 level 5 elite goblin warriors, and 20 level 6 goblin warriors. This is a very powerful team. You can go out hunting alone without following the angel team. So far, Lin Yu has about 1,000 goblins under his command. Among them, there are more than 700 goblin believers. Among these goblin believers, there are more than 400 ordinary goblins, and the remaining 300 goblin believers belong to the elite goblins. The most powerful one among them is the 8th level goblin leader who surrendered. Lin Yu doesn't know his name yet, because he didn't have time to summon him. Lin Yu plans to form 2 goblin teams to go out hunting. One is a team of goblin believers led by an 8th level goblin leader, with a number of 200, selected on merit. The other is the well-equipped goblin army team in front of him. In addition to the angel team led by Yida. In this way, he has 3 hunting teams. The harvest from hunting is bound to increase exponentially, including his level. Now, Lin Yu's level is the early stage of level 4. Undoubtedly the first on the island. After all, at this stage, most of the professionals are still at level 1, and only a few have reached level 2. After today, the number of level 2 professionals will increase a lot, but it is still far from Lin Yu, who is a level 4 professional. However, Lin Yu felt that it was not enough. He needed to improve his level faster. He must be promoted to level 7 when he returns to Blue Star. Because after becoming a level 7 professional, he can release the advanced fire magic, Fire Dragon technique, to further enhance his combat effectiveness. The remaining hundreds of ordinary goblin believers, one part will do logistics work for the 3 teams, the other part will stay in the territory to decompose the monster's body. That's it. Lin Yu turned to Yuta and said, I will upgrade the territory later, so you don't have to stay behind. Go out hunting as usual to improve your own level. Yes, Lord. Yuta hurriedly obeyed the order respectfully. Then, she flew away from the territory with a group of beautiful double-winged angels. Then, Lin Yu ordered the goblins to go out hunting. Soon, 2 fully armed goblin teams rushed out of the territory and headed for the forest area in a different direction from the angel team. During this period, Lin Yu summoned the 8th level goblin leader. He learned that his name was Bard. He was a distant relative of the goblin chieftain Baril who had been killed. However, under the blessing of the power of faith, the goblin leader Bard, who became a fanatical believer, did not have any resentment towards Lin Yu. On the contrary, he was extremely grateful to Lin Yu for redeeming the goblin tribe. The goblin tribe was in a state of extreme confusion and had no future. It was faith that guided the goblin tribe in a bright direction. It was also Lin Yu, the great lord of holy light, who brought hope to their tribe. When facing Lin Yu, the goblin leader Bard was extremely respectful and knelt in front of him like a humble servant. This is respect for God. Bard, you have enough courage to correct your mistakes and turn back from the wrong path. I believe you will become a very promising goblin. Your future will definitely surpass the goblin chief. Work hard and keep going. The future of the goblin tribe is in your hands. Lin Yu's words gave the goblin leader Bard enough strong faith and gave him the motivation to move forward. He had never felt so full of hope and expectation for the future as today. After bidding farewell to the great lord of holy light, the goblin leader Bard held his head high and excitedly took a group of goblin believers out hunting. In this way, only Lin Yu and a few ordinary goblins were left in the territory. He thought about it, then he took out a blacksmith shop blueprint. Before, Lin Yu had never used this building blueprint. Because there was no blacksmith in the territory, even if the blacksmith shop was built, no equipment could be made. Now, there is a blacksmith and equipment blueprints. The construction of the blacksmith shop is naturally urgent. Lin Yu walked around the territory and found a location suitable for building a blacksmith shop. As the blueprint turned into countless golden lights and disappeared. In an open area in front, the shadow of a building slowly appeared. After a while, the shadow became a real thing. A small building with a chimney appeared in Lin Yu's sight. Territory building, blacksmith shop, level, low level, blacksmiths that can be equipped, 3 to 5, equipment that can be produced daily, 50 to 100 pieces, next level, intermediate, upgrade requirements, 500 units of wood, 300 units of stone, 1000 units of iron ore. Note, the probability of a low-level blacksmith shop producing top-quality equipment is 1%. Upgrading the blacksmith shop can increase the probability of producing top-quality equipment. Looking at the information notes of the blacksmith shop, Lin Yu immediately wanted to upgrade this blacksmith shop. He is not short of basic resources now. He can easily upgrade the blacksmith shop to the intermediate level, thereby increasing the probability of producing top-quality equipment. Compared with ordinary equipment, top-quality equipment is more valuable. Upgrading is very useful. But when Lin Yu saw that the number of people who could be equipped with blacksmiths was 3 to 5, he immediately withdrew the idea of upgrading the blacksmith shop. The number of blacksmiths that can be equipped is 3 to 5. The meaning is very clear, at least 3 blacksmiths are needed, and no more than 5 blacksmiths. There are only 3 blacksmiths in Lin Yu's territory, which can barely maintain the operation of this low-level blacksmith shop. But if it is upgraded to intermediate level, it is possible that the minimum number of blacksmiths required may reach 5, or even more. He does not have enough blacksmiths. At that time, maybe even the blacksmith shop will have to close directly. It's better to be stable. Lin Yu stretched out his hand to call the 3 goblin blacksmiths who had been waiting not far away. One is an old goblin named Devon, and 2 younger goblins. The old goblin is an intermediate blacksmith. When forging equipment, the probability of the emergence of top-quality equipment increases by 3%. The 2 young goblins are low-level blacksmiths, and there is no probability increase for top-quality equipment. Lord, The three goblin blacksmiths knelt in front of Lin Yu in fear and excitement. Lin Yu nodded slightly and said to the old goblin, "Duan, this blacksmith shop will be handed over to you from now on. You can use the monster materials and metal materials in the territory warehouse as you like. Making equipment is your main task. The secondary task is to select some smarter goblins and train more blacksmiths for our territory. Do you understand?" "I understand, Lord. I will do my best to train blacksmiths for you," the old goblin Devon said very solemnly. "Very good." You get up. While speaking, Lin Yu took out the low-level equipment blueprint again and chose to use it. In this way, the blacksmith shop unlocked the ability to forge low-level equipment. The low-level equipment unlocked with a blueprint is equipment for all races and all professions. Before this, the old goblin could only forge goblin equipment, but now it is different. He can forge a variety of low-level equipment suitable for all races in the blacksmith shop. This is the role of equipment blueprint. Then, Lin Yu took out the fence blueprint. After building the fence, he can upgrade the territory and activate the ability to summon the four-winged angel at the same time. Now, he has nearly 3,000 gold coins in reserve. This is for summoning the four-winged angel. Chapter 46. The old man was buried in the grave, and the old man was buried. Territory building blueprint, type, fence, number of uses, wants, construction requirements. 500 units of wood, 200 units of stone, 100 units of iron ore. Special reminder, fence is an indispensable building in the territory. It can provide the most basic defense for your territory. As the blueprint turned into countless golden lights and disappeared, a circle of wooden fences suddenly appeared around Lin Yu's territory, surrounding the entire territory. The only thing not surrounded by the fence is the spiritual field. The location of the spiritual field is outside the territory. However, there is no need to worry about the safety of the spiritual field. Lin Yu asked about the floating island of 10,000 worlds, and learned that as long as the territory was not captured, the spiritual field would be invincible. The fence is made up of square wood. The height is only a little over 1 meter. It seems very fragile and will fall down with a push. But this is just the appearance. Because this is a floating island world shrouded by the power of rules. The defense durability of the low-level fence is 300 points. Before the durability is 0, no matter how powerful the creature is, it cannot rush into Lin Yu's territory. This is the rule. After building the fence, Lin Yu opened the information panel of the territory and took a look. The 3 conditions of prosperity, pre-construction, and required resources have been met. He can upgrade the territory at any time now. However, he has to wait. He can upgrade the territory only when the auction of the warehouse blueprint reaches the last moment, otherwise he will not be able to maximize the value of the warehouse blueprint. Open the island trading platform. On the platform, the top item for auction is the warehouse blueprint he put up. The auction has been going on for more than 20 minutes, and the warehouse blueprint, with a reserve price of 1,000 gold coins, has now soared to 1,700 gold coins. It will soon exceed the level 7 top-grade equipment snake armor. If nothing unexpected happens. After the auction, this warehouse blueprint will refresh the highest transaction price of the trading platform. Turn your attention to the island chat channel on the side. At this moment, the island chat channel is still very lively. However, the topic discussed by the professionals has skipped the world announcement and turned to the warehouse blueprint, sold anonymously by Lin Yu. No need to discuss it anymore. I can be 100% sure that the warehouse blueprint was put up by Lin Yu, but if it was sold by Lin Yu, why did he remain anonymous? What else could this be? Of course, in order to make the warehouse blueprint sell at a higher price. Why did the prices of fence blueprints and arrow tower blueprints keep rising before? It's because many lord professionals want to be the first to upgrade their territory. Not only will there be a world announcement, but they can also get the reward of the floating island, which is a sure win. But now, Lin Yu has put the warehouse blueprint on the shelves. This means that he already owns the warehouse building. Even if someone else bids for the warehouse blueprint, they can't do it as fast as him. The first person to upgrade the territory must be Lin Yu, knowing that they can't win. Why do those territory professionals still spend a high price to compete for the warehouse blueprint? So, in order to avoid this kind of thing, Lin Yu chose to remain anonymous and let some lord professionals who are lucky enough to compete for it. If it's as I expected, the Goblin Commander armor, The gun of courage, and the warehouse blueprint that have been put on the shelves are all the gains of Lin Yu's conquest of the goblin tribe. The analysis of the brother above makes sense. Agree +1. There are still smart people. After some analysis, Lin Yu's plan was analyzed clearly. However, even so, it still cannot stop the bidding price of warehouse blueprint from rising wildly. Just like what the professional said, there are always some lord professionals who have a lucky mentality. What if this warehouse blueprint is not sold by Lin Yu? Instead, it comes from an extremely lucky combat professional. The reason for anonymity is simply not wanting to be famous, or not wanting to cause trouble. After all, those who have the capital to participate in the auction of warehouse blueprint are basically the top figures among professionals, and most of them are lords at the level of alliance leader. Even the alliance leader of the King's Hall is included. If the information is exposed, it is hard to guarantee that you will not be threatened, worried, and even make enemies in the end. Therefore, selling the bidder chose to remain anonymous. This is what the bidders thought, including the golden behemoth lord who was also competing for the warehouse blueprint. He thought so. He didn't believe that Lin Yu's luck would be so good. The explosion rate of warehouse blueprints was pitifully low, and so many professionals on the island didn't explode. On the other hand, Lin Yu exploded one first, and now the second one has exploded. How is this possible? It doesn't make sense that all good things happen to Lin Yu. Therefore, he must compete for it, and he must not let the warehouse blueprint fall into the hands of other lord professionals, otherwise his first lord plan will fail completely. At that time, not only will he not be able to upgrade his territory, but he will also not get any rewards. The fence blueprint and arrow tower blueprint that he bought at a high price before will also be lost to the point of vomiting blood. Under the attention of countless professionals, the bidding price of warehouse blueprint has risen again and again. In less than half an hour, the bidding price has exceeded 2,000 gold coins. But even so, it still didn't slow down. It couldn't be stopped at all. It can be said that basically all the prominent lord professionals on the island participated in this auction, especially those lord professionals who established alliances. None of them were absent. Although they all knew that the warehouse blueprint was most likely from Lin Yu. But they still didn't want to give up. Everyone wanted to give it a try. After all, what if it wasn't? Wouldn't they be able to be the first to upgrade the territory and get the reward of the floating island? The last 10 minutes. The price of the warehouse blueprint rose to 2,500 gold coins. In the last 5 minutes, the price broke through the 3,000 gold coin mark. Such a sky-high price also shook the entire island chat channel. But it's still not over. The closer it got to the end, the more intense the auction process became. Some lord professionals had to regretfully withdraw because they didn't have enough gold coins. But those who stayed were all crazy. For example, the golden behemoth lord is now urgently borrowing gold coins in the alliance channel of the Hall of Kings. Alliance lord, stop borrowing gold coins. Lin Yu is a black-hearted person. This is clearly his trap. Yes, alliance lord, be rational. It is not worth spending so many gold coins to buy a warehouse blueprint. With more than 3,000 gold coins, you can recruit 60 or 70 golden behemoths. In the alliance channel, many members are persuading the golden behemoth lord. But he simply won't listen. In order to become the first lord, he has already invested a lot of gold coins. Now that it's the last moment, how can he back down? Even if he owes money everywhere, he has to bid for the warehouse blueprint. There are only 2 or 3 minutes left before the end of the auction, but Lin Yu has not made any movement, which means that the warehouse blueprint has nothing to do with him. I must fight hard and never let other lord professionals get the warehouse blueprint. Brothers, lend me gold coins, let me become the first lord, get the world announcement, and lead the King's Hall to a more glorious era. The alliance members were very speechless about this middle school leader. The leader did not listen to their advice, leaving them helpless. In the end, many alliance members stood up and lent a large amount of gold coins to the golden behemoth lord. After all, it was a loan, there was a contract, so there was no need to worry about the golden behemoth lord defaulting on the debt. In addition, the interest was high. No matter who the warehouse blueprint ended up with, these creditors would make a profit. Who can still compete with me this time? After getting the gold coins, the golden behemoth lord also became more confident. He directly raised the auction price of the warehouse blueprint from more than 3,300 to a full 3,500 gold coins. He put his hands in his pockets, not knowing what an opponent was. In the final auction showdown, he was going to kill. Chapter 47. Soon, the auction of the warehouse blueprint was left with only the last 20 seconds. Almost no one continued to bid. The golden behemoth lord did not bid again. Because, after more than a dozen rounds of killing, he had raised the bidding price to a terrifying level of 4,800 gold coins, killing all competitors. This was also his limit. No matter how high it was, he would take out more gold coins. But he believed that others would do the same. If nothing unexpected happened, the warehouse blueprint would soon be in his pocket. In fact, many people thought he was crazy for spending 4,800 gold coins to bid for a warehouse blueprint, and he himself felt a little crazy. After all, if this amount of gold coins is used to recruit golden behemoths, a total of 96 can be recruited. When he thought of this, his heart kept bleeding. If it weren't for the first upgrade of the territory and the reward of the floating island, he would never do such a stupid thing. How can a mere warehouse blueprint be as attractive as a golden behemoth team? At this moment, the golden behemoth lord has closed the trading platform. He is paying close attention to the island chat channel. He is not looking at what the professionals in the chat channel are talking about, but paying attention to whether the world announcement pinned above the chat channel has changed. Warehouse blueprint is almost certain. No one can compete with him. The reason why he pays attention to the world announcement is to see if there is any new world announcement, such as congratulating Lin Yu for becoming the first Lord Professional to upgrade the territory. He silently prayed that this kind of thing would never happen. Otherwise, he would lose a lot. He lost so much money that he didn't even have a pair of underwear left. It seemed that his prayers worked. Until the end of the auction, the warehouse blueprint fell into his hands, and the world announcement on the island chat channel had not changed. From the beginning to the end, it was a world announcement congratulating Lin Yu for conquering the Earth Troll tribe. Ha ha ha, my guess is correct. I knew that it would be impossible for all good things to fall on Lin Yu's head. It's finally my turn this time. My name will shine at the top of the chat channel, and will be worshipped and admired by countless professionals. My fame will instantly surpass Lin Yu and be remembered by every professional. The golden behemoth lord was extremely excited. He immediately exited the island chat channel and communicated with the 10,000 worlds floating island. Hurry up, upgrade my territory for me, soon. The reply from the 10,000 worlds floating island arrived. The current territory lacks warehouse buildings and does not meet the upgrade requirements. Damn, the young-looking golden behemoth lord cursed angrily. But he could only quickly find a place to build the warehouse first. The rules of the floating island were something he could not challenge. However, the golden behemoth lord did not know that shortly after he exited the island chat channel, the world announcement he had been following suddenly changed. That was Lin Yu's new world announcement. Almost at the same time, the entire island chat channel was boiling. At the same time, the alliance chat channel of the Hall of Kings was also boiling. Fuck. It's Lin Yu again. The first person to upgrade the territory really has a world announcement, and this person is indeed Lin Yu. I knew the alliance leader was fooled. That warehouse blueprint is clearly a trap that Lin Yu dug for all Lord Professionals, causing a large number of Lord Professionals to jump in. That's wrong. Although other lords fell into the trap, they finally got out of it. Only our stupid leader fell into the trap and became disabled. By the way, where's our leader? He is probably crying alone in the territory. That's not certain. Maybe the leader doesn't know that the world announcement has changed yet, and is rushing to build warehouses and upgrade the territory. When the leader comes online and sees that the world announcement and rewards have been taken away by Lin Yu, I'm afraid he will faint directly. This stupid leader is so mad at me. I'm going to quit the alliance. I'm not in a hurry. I'll wait a little longer. What are you waiting for? Such a stubborn leader can't develop the alliance at all. Although the king's palace the hall now has more than 100,000 people and the greatest power, but sooner or later it will be destroyed by him. I know all this knowing that you still stay in this alliance. No way. The leader still owes me a few gold coins. Lin Yu sighed. He knew that even if the warehouse blueprint was auctioned off, the bidder would not be able to upgrade the territory immediately. The warehouse needs to be built first. So, he was not so anxious. When the 4,800 gold coins from the auction fell into his pocket, he communicated with a floating island of 10,000 worlds. When everything was ready, the upgrade went smoothly. No accidents happened. He simply became the first Lord Professional to upgrade the territory. After upgrading to Intermediate village. The area of the territory expanded by nearly 10 times. A large number of vacant land appeared. These vacant lands can be used to build various types of buildings. In Lin Yu's hand, there are 3 arrow tower blueprints and 5 wooden house blueprints, and he plans to use these blueprints later. Especially the wooden house blueprints, which need to be used first. Putting aside his angels, the number of goblins in the territory has exceeded 1,000. So many goblins naturally cannot all camp in the open air. And this requires the use of wooden house blueprints to build wooden houses for the goblin residents to live in. After the territory is upgraded. In addition to the expansion of the area, the Lord's Hall has also undergone some changes. The small building has become taller and larger. The bedroom on the second floor has also become more refined, no longer a simple bed and 2 bedside tables. Of course, Lin Yu did not appreciate his bedroom. Because at this time, the information prompt from Floating Island of 10,000 Worlds appeared in his mind. Congratulations, Lord, your territory has been successfully upgraded to an intermediate village. You are one step closer to the unification of the floating island. Congratulations, Lord Lin Yu, you are the first territory professional to upgrade the territory. In view of your outstanding performance, you are rewarded with 500 gold coins, 200 honor points, and 1,000 reputation points. Your name will shine in the island chat channel to inspire the professionals on the island to move forward bravely. Another world announcement. Lin Yu was very happy. Today, he has already had 2 world announcements. If you want to use a word to describe his popularity on the island, it is definitely famous and well known. Any professional on the island will definitely not be unfamiliar with him, and everyone knows his name. However, Lin Yu doesn't care about these. He feels that he is not such a superficial person. Thinking of this, Lin Yu hummed twice and walked straight into the brand new Lord Hall. The wooden house drawings and arrow tower drawings can be used later. He could no longer wait to summon his 4-winged angel. Chapter 48. The old man was buried in the tomb, and the old man was buried in the tomb. Compared with before, the upgraded Lord's Hall finally had a sense of grandeur. The 4 pillars in the hall became 8. Each pillar was engraved with various patterns, which looked like some extremely mysterious magic runes. Lin Yu opened the exclusive soldier summoning information of Lord's Hall. Sure enough, the summoning authority of the 4-winged angel was unlocked. Recruitment requirements: 2-winged angel, 50 gold coins, recruitable, 4-winged angel, 200 gold coins, recruitable, 6-winged angel, 1,000 gold coins, unlocked in advanced villages, 8-winged angel, 5,000 gold coins, unlocked in small town level territories, 10-winged angel, 4-winged angel, 200 gold coins each, 4 times more expensive than a 2-winged angel. The gold coins consumed to summon a 4-winged angel are enough to summon 4 2-winged angels. Of course, it cannot be measured by quantity. After all, the status of a 4-winged angel is higher than that of a 2-winged angel. If nothing unexpected happens, whether it is the initial level, combat power, or the limit of growth potential, the 4-winged angel will surpass the 2-winged angel. There must be a reason for the high price. Lin Yu did not think much about it and counted his gold coin reserves. Before, he had a total of 2,786 gold coins. Later, a warehouse blueprint was auctioned for 4,800 gold coins. In addition to the first upgraded territory, there were 500 gold coins rewarded by the floating island. The total is 8,086 gold coins. This is a very amazing number. It can be said that no professional on the island has more gold coins than Lin Yu, even those top professionals who have established alliances. 8,086 gold coins. You can summon 44 winged angels. If it's a 2-winged angel, you can summon 161. Lin Yu took a deep breath. So far, the total number of 2-winged angels under his command is only 58. It is conceivable what it means to summon more than 162 winged angels at a time. But this time, I want to summon a 4-winged angel. Without hesitation, he immediately communicated with a floating island of 10,000 worlds, and prepared to summon. But just after his thoughts were transmitted, a message from the floating island of 10,000 worlds suddenly appeared in his mind. The Lord needs to summon high-level angels according to the ratio of the angel team. For every 52 winged angels under the Lord, 1 4-winged angel can be summoned. 52 winged angels led by a 4-winged angel are a standard-sized angel team. For every 502 winged angels, 10 angel teams One six-winged angel can be summoned to form a standard-sized small angel army. For every 5,000 two-winged angels, 10 small angel armies. One eight-winged angel can be summoned to form a standard-sized medium-sized angel army. For every 50,000 two-winged angels, 10 medium-sized angel armies. One 10-winged angel can be summoned to form a standard-sized large angel army, and so on. After reading the message from the floating island of 10,000 worlds, Lin Yu couldn't help but widen his eyes. If he continued to summon angels at this rate, by the time he could summon 12-winged angels, wouldn't he already have hundreds of thousands of angels under his command? Why can't we directly summon higher-ranking angels? After receiving Lin Yu's thoughts, floating island of 10,000 worlds also responded immediately. A territory can not only have high-level officials, but also needs a large number of grassroots people. This is the foundation for a territory to develop and inherit forever. The same is true for a legion. If there is a legion commander, there must be grassroots soldiers. Lords should not underestimate the double-winged angels. Every race of soldiers has the ability to evolve themselves. The difference is only in the high and low evolutionary talents. Angels are the only type of soldiers, and their evolutionary talents are very strong. In fact, most of the high-ranking angels are evolved from the weakest double-winged angels. The double-winged angels under the Lord can also evolve into high-ranking angels. After hearing the explanation of the floating island of 10,000 worlds, Lin Yu only felt an idea came to his mind. That is, summoning a two-winged angel can save money. It takes 200 gold coins to summon a four-winged angel. It only takes 50 gold coins to summon a two-winged angel. If a two-winged angel under his command evolves into a four-winged angel, it is equivalent to saving him 150 gold coins. And if it evolves into a six-winged angel, the saved gold coins will be even more. Is there no limit to the summoning of two-winged angels? There is no limit. The Lord can summon two-winged angels infinitely. But remember that evolution is a gradual process. A territory still needs strong people to sit in the process of growth and development. Got it? Just now, Lin Yu almost threw away the idea of summoning a four-winged angel, and wanted to use all the gold coins in his hand to summon two-winged angels. After all, as long as 1/10 of the two-winged angels can achieve evolution, he will make a lot of money. However, the reminder of the floating island of 10,000 worlds is not unreasonable. Who knows when the two-winged angels he summoned can evolve? Therefore, the most stable way is to summon angels of various grades according to the angel team ratio plan given by Wanji Floating Island. In this way, under his command, there are both high-level angels and a large number of two-winged angels to achieve evolution. Let me calculate. A standard-sized angel team consists of a four-winged angel and 52 winged angels. That is to say, to summon an angel team, it takes 2,700 gold coins. I now have 8,086 gold coins, which means I can only summon two standard, but also full-scale angel teams. Yes, Lord Lin Yu, after the summoning, you will still have 2,686 gold coins left. Only 14 gold coins are missing. Otherwise you can just summon 3 full-scale angel teams. Looking at the information prompt that appeared in his mind, Lin Yu rolled his eyes secretly. He could still calculate this math problem clearly. No special prompt was needed. Then summon 2 angel teams first, with the remaining 2,686 gold coins. Summon a 4-winged angel and 49 2-winged angels respectively. In this way, he will only have 36 gold coins left. It can be said that it was used up completely. Soon, a black hole appeared in the Lord's Hall. Just like the last summoning, Lin Yu had a feeling that the black hole had changed in some way. The black hole seemed to have turned into an eye. Behind it, something was peeping at him. However, this feeling did not last long, because soon a series of beautiful figures flew out of the black hole. The leader was the 3 4-winged angels summoned this time. Each of them was absolutely beautiful, with fair skin, and beautiful without any flaws. If I were to describe them, they would have the face of an angel and the figure of a devil. Both of them were beautiful and fantastic. In terms of attire, 2 of the 4-winged angels wore equipment sets similar to those of the 2-winged angels. Uniform silver-white battle armor, holding an angel sword burning with golden flames. The difference is that they have 2 pairs of snow-white angel wings behind them, which is the symbol of their being 4-winged angels. In terms of momentum, they are also stronger than the 2-winged angels. The third 4-winged angel was wearing a white and gold magic dress, and no longer held an angel sword in his hand, but a staff made of white jade. Lin Yu was a little curious. Why was this 4-winged angel different from the others? He immediately opened the information templates of the 3 four-winged angels for comparison. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 49. The Four-Winged Angel is a very important figure in the history of the Angel Clan. Four-Winged Angel, Initial Level, Level 7, Growth Potential, Demigod Peak, Possessed Combat Skills, Holy Cross Sword, Holy Light Slash, Light Triple Slash, Holy Light Shield, Angel Holy Flame. Introduction. Belonging to the Orthodox faction of the Angel Clan, the Four-Winged Angel under the command of the 12-Winged Angels, and then the 6-Winged Angels. They are the most skilled warriors of the Angel Clan, with unyielding will and extremely firm faith. This information template belongs to the 2 Four-Winged Angels holding the Angel Sword. Initial Level, Level 7. Growth Potential, Demigod Peak. The template information is exactly the same, but it is indeed stronger than the 2-Winged Angel. It is worth noting that they are angels under the command of the 12-Winged Angels. If you can break through the 4 wings, you can become a 6-Winged Angel, 4-Winged Dark Angel. Initial Level, Level 7, Growth Potential, Peak Demigod, Possessed Combat Skills, Holy Light Confinement, Faith Divine Art. Introduction. 4-Winged Dark Angels under the command of the 12-Winged Cherubim, the Orthodox faction of the Angel family, and the next step is the 6-Winged Dark Angel. The 4-Winged Dark Angels who have mastered special abilities are best at spreading faith for God. This template belongs to the 4-Winged Angel wearing a white and gold magic robe and holding a staff. Also the initial level is level 7. Growth potential is at the peak of Demigod. But unlike the other 2 4-Winged Angels, she is good at Faith Divine Art, and is under the command of the 12-Winged Cherubim. The name is also different, she is a 4-Winged Dark Angel. It is indeed different. Soon, all the angels came. At a glance, the Lord's Hall was densely packed with beautiful angels. The entire space was filled with holy light. Greetings, Lord, may the Lord be eternal and the holy light always be there. Under the leadership of the 3 4-Winged Angels, more than 100 angels saluted Lin Yu in unison. Whether it was their expressions or their eyes, they were filled with infinite reverence and fanatical faith in Lin Yu. Lin Yu was the Lord of Holy Light. To the angels, Lin Yu was everything to them. No matter what Lin Yu asked them to do, they would do it without hesitation. Serving the Lord of Holy Light was their job. Lin Yu nodded slightly. Then, he asked all the 2-Winged Angels to retreat. The space area at the Lord's Hall was still too small. More than 100 angels gathered here would be very crowded. He only left the 3 4-Winged Angels. First, Lin Yu looked at the 4-Winged Dark Angel wearing a white and gold magic robe and asked, "Are your angels divided into different factions?" "Yes, Lord." The 4-Winged Dark Angel held a staff and exuded a soft holy light. She faced Lin Yu, lowered her beautiful white face slightly, and said respectfully, "In our angel family, the largest number of angels are from the Orthodox faction, and the other angels are special angels and rare in number, such as the Angel of Love, the Angel of War, the Angel of Destiny, the Angel of Paradise, etc. In addition, the angels of the Orthodox faction are also divided into 3 camps. The command-level angels headed by the 12-Winged Seraphim have the main angels and the Angel of Power under their command. The divine angels headed by the 12-Winged Cherubim have the power angels and the archangels under their command. The war-level angels headed by the 12-Winged Seat Angel have the powerful angels and the battle angels, ordinary 2-Winged Angels, under their command. Although the 3 camps have different functions, we all belong to the Orthodox Angel faction, and we can form a fully functional angel army together. After hearing the explanation of the 4-Winged Dark Angel, and you also had a better understanding of the angel family. Then, he asked curiously, above the 12-Winged Angel, are there any angels with higher status? Yes, the 4-Winged Dark Angel said respectfully. There are also 14-Winged Angels, who are generally the commanders of multiple legions. There are also 16-Winged Dark Angels, and the supreme 18-Winged Archangel, His Majesty. Lin Yu took a deep breath. The words of the 4-Winged Dark Angel opened his eyes. The most terrifying thing is, the initial level of the 4-Winged Angel has reached level 7, and the growth potential is the peak of Demigod. If nothing unexpected happens, the growth potential of the 6-Winged Angel, it must be the level of a true god. Because the higher the status of an angel, the higher the initial level and growth potential. Then, What is the initial level and growth potential of the Supreme 18-winged Archangel? I am afraid that once it is summoned, the initial level will be as high as the level of a true god. A god who is immortal as soon as he is born. It is terrifying to think about it. No wonder, floating island of 10,000 worlds, lists angels as the only type of soldiers. The soldiers of other races cannot be compared with angels at all. After a moment of silence, Lin Yu named the 3 4-winged angels. The 2 4-winged angels who are good at charging, under the 12-winged angels, were named Maureen and Merida. The 4-winged dark angel in front of him, who is good at believing in divine arts, was named Elena. Praise the Lord, thank you for the name, may you be immortal forever. The 3 beautiful angels were all very excited. It is a great honor for them to be named by the Lord of Holy Light. None of the more than 102 winged angels summoned with them can be named by the Lord. Lin Yu nodded slightly and said to the 2 4-winged angels, Molin, Merida, each of you leads a full-scale angel team to hunt in the wild world. Elena, then, his eyes fell on the 4-winged dark angel again. You now have 49 2-winged angels under your command. When Aida's team returns in the evening, you pick a 2-winged angel from them to form a full-scale team. Obey your oracle, my lord, Elena responded with an extremely soft voice, and a hint of emptiness, which was heartwarming. She held an angel staff made of white jade. At the top of the divine art, a holy light emanated, covering her perfect figure with curves and bumps. Compared with the other 2 4-winged angels, her temperament is softer and more sacred. Of course, in terms of beautiful appearance, the 3 angels are equally matched. It's just that their temperaments are slightly different. Go, lead your team to the wild world, Lin Yu said. Hunting evil monsters from the outside world can increase your level. I hope you can grow up faster, but it is not limited to the level. If you can achieve evolution and become a 6-winged angel of power and a 6-winged angel of energy, that will be the happiest thing for me. Yes, Lord, the 3 beautiful angels said in unison. We will do our best to break through the limitations of our status and grow into 6-winged angels, so as not to disappoint the Lord. Very good, Lin Yu smiled. Soon, Elena and the other 2 flew away from the territory with more than 100 2-winged angels. They were divided into 3 teams. 2 were fully staffed, and 1 was almost fully staffed. They went to the forest area in different directions. In this way, Lin Yu had 6 teams hunting in the wild world. They were 4 angel teams and 2 goblin teams. This was a very terrifying thing. Once it was spread out and let the professionals on the island know, I am afraid that countless professionals would be stunned and horrified. Especially those lord professionals who intended to compete for the position of island master. They would probably feel deep despair. Chapter 50. The time has come. In the blink of an eye, the number of angels under my command has exceeded 200. The angel team led by Yida and Sally has a total of 58 angels. And this time, Lin Yu summoned 3 4-winged angels and 149 2-winged angels, a total of 152 angels. All these angels added up. The number is exactly 210. Lin Yu was delighted and said to himself, if we continue to expand at this speed, I believe it won't take long for the number of angels under my command to reach 1,000. This is not impossible. Although the sky-high price of warehouse blueprint was an accident. But now, his blacksmith shop has started operating. Batches of equipment are made every day. He can earn a lot of gold coins by selling these equipment, which he can then use to summon angels. So, the number of angels exceeding 1,000 is not a distant dream. It is a goal that can be achieved soon. The surge in the number of angels and the expansion of the 2 goblin teams means that my level will also increase rapidly. Lin Yu is confident that before returning to Blue Star, he can upgrade his professional level to level 7 and master the advanced magic fire dragon technique. Without thinking any more, Lin Yu opened the information panel after the territory upgrade to check territory, level, intermediate village, Lord, Lin Yu, territory buildings, Lord Hall, wooden house, warehouse, arrow tower, fence, blacksmith shop, spiritual field level, level 1, prosperity. 1395, next level, advanced village, upgrade conditions, condition 1, prosperity reaches 1000, completed, condition 2, own a blacksmith shop, a watchtower, and 10 intermediate buildings, condition 3, 5,000 units of wood, 5,000 units of stone, 5,000 units of iron ore. I have already met the requirements for prosperity. It is not difficult to obtain basic resources, and they will be gathered soon. I already have a blacksmith shop. It is also easy for me to own 10 intermediate buildings. The only thing that is more difficult is the watchtower. I need to find a way to get a blueprint of the watchtower. Don't worry, take your time. Tomorrow we will attack the Grey Land Dwarf tribe, and then the two-headed demon tribe. I believe that after conquering these two tribes, we should be able to get the blueprint of the watchtower. Lin Yu's mentality is very relaxed. Compared with other Lord professionals on the island, he is already far ahead. Coupled with the Angel Legion that has begun to take shape, and the two goblin teams with a total of 500 people, his power will surely be like a snowball, rolling bigger and bigger. Enough to leave those Lord professionals far behind. Once we get the blueprints of the watchtower, we will continue to upgrade the territory. Once the territory is upgraded to an advanced village, we will be able to unlock the authority to summon 6 winged angels. If nothing unexpected happens, the growth potential of the 6 winged angels must have reached the level of true gods. After all, 4 winged angels are already at the peak of demigods. By then, I will have god-level troops under my command. Both the 2 winged angels and the 4 winged angels are not considered god-level troops, because their growth potential is 1 demigod and the other is at the peak of demigods. And the 6 winged angels, the growth potential of true gods, can be called true god-level troops. Outside the Lord's Hall, Lin Yu immediately felt a series of worshipful and fanatical eyes falling on him. These eyes came from those ordinary goblin believers. They were weak and unable to go out hunting, so they stayed in the territory to do logistics. Lin Yu did not pretend to be arrogant and indifferent to be a god. He was quite kind, smiled slightly, and nodded to the goblin believers who gathered in the distance and did not dare to speak loudly. For him, this was just a simple gesture. But for these goblin believers, his simple gesture was already the supreme honor. Every goblin believer seemed to feel the attention and praise from God. In an instant, they all became extremely excited. The work at hand was also more diligent and more motivated. This is the power of faith. Seeing this scene, Lin Yu couldn't help but sigh. Then, he took out the last 3 remaining arrow tower drawings, as well as 5A wooden house blueprint. He had obtained a arrow tower blueprint before. As for the wooden house blueprint, it was the first time to get it. Territory building blueprint, type, wooden house, number of uses, 10 times, construction requirements, 100 units of wood, 50 units of stone. Special reminder, wooden house is the basic building of the territory, but don't underestimate it. Without it, you may lose the trust of the people in your territory. A lord who cannot provide a basic living environment for the people in the territory is not worthy of the people's loyalty. Looking at the information of the wooden house blueprint, Lin Yu couldn't help but say to himself, faith is a good thing. It can make the people in the territory have enough loyalty to me at any time. In the floating island world, there is no such thing as loyalty. Whether it is a military unit or a native intelligent creature, it is the same. If the Lord is unfriendly to the military units and native people under his command, then it is not impossible for him to betray the Lord. Especially the native people who have surrendered. They have their own stance and higher degree of freedom. Compared with the summoned troops, the attitude of the local people towards the Lord, or loyalty, is more easily affected by the surrounding environment. If the environment is bad and the Lord is cruel, there is a high probability of betrayal. So, Lin Yu is lucky. His angel is best at spreading faith. Under the blessing of the power of faith, even if the goblin believers in the territory have no house to live in for several days and have been camping in the open air, they are still extremely loyal to Lin Yu. If it were other lords, these local goblins would have rebelled. To build a wooden house, you need 100 units of wood and 50 units of stone. The cost is still cheap. Lin Yu has 5 wooden house blueprints in his hand, each of which can be used 10 times, which means that a total of 50 wooden houses can be built, consuming a total of 5,000 units of wood and 2,500 units of stone. For Lin Yu, this amount of resources is completely available. He opened the warehouse and took a look at the reserves of various resources. Food, 28,364 units, wood, 17,450 units, stone, 12,000 units, iron ore, 8,720 units. With so many basic resources, it is more than enough to build all the arrow towers and wooden houses. Without hesitation, Lin Yu immediately started to build. Soon, arrow towers and rows of wooden houses rose from the ground in his territory. In return, the prosperity of the territory increased rapidly. At the same time, the alliance channel of Hall of Kings also exploded. The golden behemoth lord who spent a huge price to bid for the warehouse blueprint finally came online. But as soon as he came online, after seeing the chat information in the Alliance channel and the New World announcement hanging high at the top of the island chat channel, the mentality of the golden behemoth lord collapsed directly. He actually fell for Lin Yu's trick? And this is not the worst. He fought his way out of the crowd, stood out from the many bidders, and snatched the warehouse blueprint at an astonishingly high price. As a result, he fell into the trap dug by Lin Yu alone. In other words, he was the only fool who fell into the trap. No matter who it was, this kind of thing would make their mentality explode. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.